Round 17 from Footy Park. Richmond and Adelaide. Pittman against Gale. Now there's going to be a free for holding according to umpire Kennedy. Bickley's down. He's going to take the free kick. Ground seems to have dried out okay after that showery period that Adelaide had earlier in the day. Good long kick by Bickley. Mondra on a lead, got right underneath the football. Umpire has made a mark. Wren just held it long enough, I reckon. Let's watch it again.
Just a height, isn't it? It was just a reach here. Who could reach the highest? And one grab, Bullis wasn't able to spoil.
Well, did he hold it long enough?
Well, he got the second grab at it. I mean, it's certainly hard to say he controlled it absolutely, but enough to satisfy the umpire.
Breeze at his back, what there is of it. Sean Wren from 40 metres out. That's the first goal for the Crows.
That's just the kind of start the home side wants. And certainly Sean Wren, who is just gradually getting his way back, he certainly hasn't produced the form pre the couple of knee injuries, but he's just doing odd bits at the moment just to give glimpses that it's still there, and he really just needs to get through the season unimpaired. This is a good confidence-building start for him.
And Bullis has a job on Wren. Duncan Callaway, big task tonight picking up Tony Modra. I noticed that when Modra went to jump then, that Callaway pushed him under the ball, so it'll be interesting to see how much body work Callaway can put on Tony Modra tonight. Costa, inside the centre square, looked like he was caught high, but he's been pinged for holding the ball. So Daffy played well last week, kicked 3 goals, looked like he was coming back to a fair bit of form. Campbell on the half-forward line. Burke gives it across to Rogers, who's got pace. He sprays his kick. That's possibly a weakness in his game.
Seemed to have plenty of time there too, Kev. Probably could have steadied even a bit more.
Well, he's kicked 2 goals, 4 for the season, and he does tend to rush his kicks. So Jamison to bring the ball back for the Crows. Great start. The opening goal to Wren, so he kicks long. He's looking for Pittman, playing in front, taps the ball down. Bond with the ball, thrown off it. It's a loose ball. Costa once more. So Risciuto playing his 100th game. Gives it across. Good play to Sampson, playing his first game. Back to Risciuto. Here come the Crows. Out in front is Modra. Close attention from Callaway. Inside 50. Knight's over the ball. Trying to crash his way through was Tawney. Great tackling inside 50. Tate, who's come into the side for Gaspar. Heads for the safety of the boundary line. And like a good defender, can't quite get it over. Aiming for Costa, tied up on the line by Campbell. Daffy wants the free, and he's been pinged. So Campbell's got it.
According to the umpire, making no attempt to get rid of it. Campbell usually gets plenty of possessions. Burke's target. Punch clear of him. Burke's out of bounds, so is the footy. We're going to see a throw in on centre wing. 18 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Crows bench. Rintoul, Collins, and I think Sampson was the other one.
Goodwin.
Was a good one, was it? Gale caught at the back. Pittman. Hand pass a little bit too severe for James. McLeod gives it on. Risciuto. 100th game tonight. It's an excellent mark for Jarman. Amazing skills from this fellow. If he turns it on, he can blitz the opposition in less than a quarter. No mark taken. That was Ryan in front. Pressured by Costa. Dragged off it again. Out comes Pittman. He'll look for James with a hand pass. James right on the boundary line. Pressured by Tawney. Badly directed kick into the arms of Matthew Knights at half back. Missed half the season with a knee injury. Caven at the back. Missed by Hart. Caven. A little give. Kick smothered. Comes towards midfield. Goes hit the deck. Now McLeod just on 50. Long kick. Huge kick. And he's kicked Adelaide second. Well, Anthony McLeod just let rip with that one. He kicked it a good 60 metres.
It was great pace, wasn't it? He's playing off half-back most of this year, McLeod. Started off as a half-forward, but once he got the ball and got clear, confidently ran through the 50-metre mark. Really takes a great skill, a 60-metre accurate kick. Very, very good start for the Crows.
So Adelaide by 11 points. Your call was right, Pete. Sampson is on the interchange bench. So Pittman, first hands on the ball. Rogers, scrappy old kick, still inside the centre square. Gale forces the ball forward. Broderick, important player tonight. The two midfielders will have to have a big game for the Tigers to put pressure on. Kicks the ball deep into the forward line. Front of the pack, Daffy couldn't take it, hands and knees. Charles falls on top of the ball, appeals for the free. And there's a ball up. Just
a couple of the matchups. Ben Hardis actually looks like has been given the job on Matthew Richardson. Darren Jarman, Chris Bond is back on him. Tawney started on Jarman, but a minute into the play, Bond has picked him up.
So Richardson down to Daffy. And pass wide to Chaffey. Naish, who's come into the side for Powell. Broderick, quick kick. So some danger here for the Crows. Richardson booted 6 goals in the opening game this year against the Crows when he booted 6. Let's go down to Neil Curley on the boundary line.
Interesting one here for you boys to see with Matty Knights playing half-back. He's a very good playmaker, playing off the half-back line. A bit strange, I feel.
Jamison off a step, wobbles it up towards half-back. Ryan missed it. Now the Crows come again. Bond. A little give, kicked by Connell. Up towards half-forwards as far as it's going. Bullis steps into the hole to take a very good mark. Former Woodville West Torrens player. Tawney. Now Bond. On towards right half-forward, over the head of Campbell. Over the hill. Bounce awkwardly for Richardson. Campbell tries to give him support. Costa. Onto his right. Caven. Ahead of Burke, decides to go on with the job. Pressured by the Tigers youngster, comes back to Bond. Bond ships it down towards half-forward again. Campbell, right on the boundary line. Inboard, Jamison in front. Has he been paid the mark? Well, they're paying them like that. Wren took one earlier. The umpire says okay. Here's McLeod who kicked that long goal. Crows getting plenty of the footy early in the first quarter. And already they've got a handy lead. Tate. Real up and under kick that one. Towards the square, this is James. Into the side tonight. James kicks to a contested right half forward. Knights playing at half back. This girl said a real playmaker. Around Connell, but only just. Hand pass put right under all sorts of pressure. The ball spills for his teammate in Thompson. Thompson's kicked back towards centre wing. That's as far as it's going. He's opposite number 34 of Hart.
And certainly a very interesting matchup, Ben Hart playing on Matthew Richardson, Lee.
Well, you can't really match all Richardson's physical attributes. No one's tall enough and quick enough, but certainly Hart should have the mobility.
So Tigers tied up on half-back. Campbell took it from Bond under pressure. Ryan thrown off the ball. Great pick-up by Jarman. Maybe a bit of magic at Football Park. Jarman has banged it through.
Well, he's an absolute magician when he's going down, Jarman. I mean, that was not an easy kick. I mean, certainly the pressure from the Crows' defence was fantastic. They turned the ball over a couple of times for Richmond players through good, disciplined tackling, but then running to the boundary line, the hook across the body's a natural hooker of his kicks, Darren Jarman. But he hooked it and then straightened it up. So it was a beautiful skill.
Darren Jarman kicks an amazing goal. We've had some terrific kicks for goal by the Crows. Wren, then McLeod, and now Jarman. Back to the centre. So Richmond need a quick reply. Otherwise the game could be almost lost in the middle stages of the first quarter. Oh, what a leap from Wren! Roderick applies a tackle. Scooped out by Roderick. Kick comes up to half forward and Bond from Pittman. The Red kick one from here. First goal of the game. And with the breeze at his back, you'd think that Bond should be able to get the distance. 4 straight would be an amazing start. I think he's a little bit closer in than Wren was. Up and under. Sprayed it a little bit. Their first blemish, the Crows. Kicked by Troy Bond. One behind. 3 goals, 1-1 behind. 13 minutes left in the first quarter, and Matty Knights, the ubiquitous Matty Knights, he's everywhere. Kicks in and finds Broderick. Broderick goes short. In turn to Campbell. Campbell at left half back. Burke on a lead. Marks in front of Caven. Very talented youngster. Richardson, well out from goal. Hart, off the ground. Naish, late inclusion in the side. McLeod. Ormond Allen from Daffy. Just smothered off the boot and out of bounds. For a throw in. About 65 metres out from goal. Look at that leap from Sean Wren. That's really testing the knee, Barney.
There's a big jump.
So we have a boundary throw in. Richmond's left half forward flank. The Tigers' goalless so far. Pittman, too tall. 2 number 15s. Beats Charles. Again Jarman. Jarman's kick. No man's land. Bickley leads Broderick. Jamison couldn't handle it. Too hot. Ball socket past midfield. Richmond with the numbers. Can they get out of this? Good tackle by Bond. And the ball jarred free. Costa goes at it hard. Great pickup. Back to Bonds. Can he make amends? Down to Mondra on a lead. Free kick.
It's one of those instructions that we don't often hear it about outside club level, but the memo from the umpires next week is that came out on Thursday night is that umpires will be very concerned if players establish illegal body contact at ruck and marking contests. And the match I saw today, they were playing plenty of them. Well, I think anyone who's trying to defend the mark is going to really have to be very disciplined.
Rodwell backs the woodwork. It wasn't a great kick. He can certainly kick a lot better than that, but that's his first score of the night. A minor one, 3-2 to 1 point.
I mentioned, Lee, the first time the ball went into the Crows forward line, that Callaway firstly just pushed Modra under the ball. And so he's going to have a lot of close body checking on Tony Modra, but the umpire, pretty much aware of what George is saying then.
Well, it'll be interesting. Certainly that was logical compared to what I saw this afternoon at Carlton North Melbourne. Now let's see how we go with this particular game, whether the umpires are the same in terms of being very concerned and disciplined about free kicking any kind of what you call illegal body contact.
So Tawney, who's got the job on Jarman, thumped the ball forward. Here's Bickley, the skipper, kicks back inside 50, backing back, showing a lot of courage. Was Tate. He's got tremendous courage. It was caught upon then. Jarman pumps the ball high. It's a loose ball, been marked by Rodwin. Been a bit quiet the last couple of weeks. Prior to that, he was a star. It's important he plays well at centre half forward. He seemed to turn it all around for the Crows when he came back from injury. Went to the key post. It's a long way out. Been kicking from a good 60 metres. So it's a beautiful kick inside the... In fact, it's cleared the pack. Well, that was a kick that one would have thought could have been touched on the line because it didn't quite get the distance.
Well, we've talked about this body contact. Let's have a look at this on the replay. You'll see that when the ball does go to the goal line, that in fact no one could jump on the goal line because Tony Modra pushed him under the ball. Have a look at Modra at the back of the pack. Well, the umpire certainly wasn't looking for illegal body contact, but that was definitely a push in the back.
First thing I can say, it was well shepherded through by Tony Modra. As we approach the halfway mark of the first quarter, 4 straight. James, was he taken high? No, the umpire lets it go. Broderick, nice ball. Daffy, certainly a goal kicker. Paddles it further forward. Charles, onto his left. Naish, didn't have the height. Ormond Allen was there. Rashudo, hard. Crows combining well in defence. Not that time. Pushed off the footy as Thompson, he'll get a free kick. Down to Neil Curley.
Yeah, comparing the Crows last week to tonight, they're so much more alert and on the ball. Their ball handling's much cleaner than last week.
Thompson goes inboard to Gale. Robin stands the mark. Gale runs around it. Richardson, too far underneath it. Pittman and Bickley. They've got the numbers. Broderick comes at him, but the boundary line is too close. It will be a throw in. 10 minutes gone in the first quarter. 28 kicks to 20 in favour of Adelaide. The handball's 18 to 10 in favour of the Crows. and they lead by 25 points. Boundary throw in, won by Richardson. Jamison in the road, bad hand pass, can the Tigers take advantage of it? Great tackle, McLeod. The crowd wants holding the ball, the umpire doesn't.
That was a good decision, I reckon.
I was going to say, KB, McLeod really looks very comfortable down the fence, doesn't he?
Yes.
He was sort of goal-kicking half forward, but for most of this year, the speed to get there and pressure and the speed to bring the ball out, he looks very comfortable down there.
And Tawney was a lot more comfortable when the decision went his way, or didn't go against him, let's put it that way. Bickley from Rashudo. Gale underneath it. Robrin and Tate. Robrin taps the ball ahead of himself. But the boundary line is too close, and it will be thrown in the half forward flank for the Crows.
Crows by 25 points. I thought that was a good decision by the umpire as well, because you've got to have some time to get rid of the ball, even though the Adelaide supporters wanted the free kick. So Matthew Knights has lined up on Vardy on the half-back flank. He's been playing a bit in defence since he's come back from his knee problems.
Sort of Peter Matera type role.
Well, I think that just takes the pressure off from being an on-ball and midfield player. And we can see there Robert Walls with Brian Waldron, the football manager of the Richmond Football Club. Not a good start for the Tigers. They trail 4-2-26 to one behind. Got a free kick. Benny Gale, half-back flank. So Gale tonight, along with Charles, will have to take on Pittman and also Wren. It's a beautiful long kick. Charles was the target. At ground level, we see Miranda's just come onto the ground also with Chaffee. Risciuto, the Centurion, kicks the ball back to the edge of the square. The high flyer was Robrin. Spectacular, couldn't take it. Campbell around the corner, kicks wide. Risciuto is there. He was looking for Broderick. They'll toss the ball back. 4-2-26 to 1 point. Just over 8.5 minutes of action left in this first quarter. Charles and Pittman. Pittman's got his hand on the ball well. Naish. It's a hurried kick back towards the half-forward line, and Jamison does well, stands his ground. He's been a great defender. Starting his career as a full forward, kicks back inside the centre square. Robram looks sharp tonight. Have to ask Neil Curley about that, because he's been out of touch the last few weeks. So it's a long bomb. Good mark taken by Bullis. Curls, Robin looks a lot sharper tonight.
Well, they all look sharper, Kevin. Robin has been well held the last 2 weeks, but he's moving with a lot more authority tonight. And he looks, as you say, he looks a lot sharper.
Bond, Pittman, and he's got it. Well, they could have raffled that. It goes to Connell. He kicks past Rogers. Bond clashes with Robin. The wind out of his sails a bit. He put his body on the line, and that's what coaches want.
It's interesting that Campbell, who's been picked up by Costa, was virtually playing up midfield around the ring. He's dropped back into defence, and it looks like Knights has gone into the midfield. So it looks like being an on-ball change, maybe out of the half-back line between Knights and Campbell.
Dalen Robrin did battle. Tawney kicks. Hart underneath it. Richardson using his pace. On to Daffy. The duck from 40 metres out. He's kicked, and Richmond have got there first. Oh, he hit the post. Well, two bad misses. First of all by Rogers, he should have converted. And then by Nick Daffy, similar distance out. Probably under a little bit more pressure than Rogers was. So two behinds to the Tigers. They would have been invaluable goals against this slight breeze. Hard to kick in. To the outer side. Pittman the target nearly. Charles is there. Tried for Gale. Kicked off the ground. Ormer Downs in the road. Connell underneath it at centre wing. Badly directed kick straight into the arms of Tape at half back.
So Tape, who's come into the side to replace Gaspar, has been one of the Tigers' best this year. Kicks wide. He was looking for Gale. Pittman was with him. Connell, very good midfield player. Struggle with injuries. Back to McLeod, who pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Robin thought he had the mark. It was a good interception by Tate, and we've got a ball up. So Tate back in 95 had a terrific season.
He had it initially.
Off his hands, into Tate, and then the tackle.
But the last season a bit, Tate has struggled to find that great form of 95. Here's Risciuto, the raging bull. Rolls the shoulders. bombs the ball back inside 50. It's a high ball coming out was Burke against Caven. The bounce goes to Modric, goes to ground. Here's Bond, quick at ground level, paddling along. Knights is hard to beat, worries him out. It was great play by the skipper of the Tigers. At ground level, the ball comes back. Modra, a quick kick, push out, and the mark's been taken by Toyney, who's been a much improved player for the Tigers in recent weeks. Got the job playing on Jarman tonight, was very aggressive before the first bounce, so Knights comes away. Kicks long down towards the half-forward line. Richardson's the target. It's going to be too tall, Lee, for Hart as far as aerial contact.
The height is the problem, but as I say, when you're playing against Matthew Richardson, you haven't got anyone tall enough and quick enough. And so at least the Crows have gone with someone who's probably quick enough.
Wren was up high, couldn't complete the mark. Naish, goal kicker, kicks it to the man straight in front of him. Jarman, who kicked at Jem, chased by Bond. He give it back to Jamison. Playing in defence, of course, he has won the goal kicking for the Crows. Jarman again. Intended for Costa, and that's out of bounds on the full. Crowd didn't like it. Must have been a real line ball decision. Campbell. Back to Tate. Well, that's got to be 50, doesn't it, you reckon? Miranda has got it, and he's got the 50.
It's really very silly, isn't it? I mean, it's an obvious 50 metres. I mean, Miranda's marked the ball and Jarman's put him shoulder down and bumped him over. It had to be a 50-metre penalty. Though I must say it's a relatively short one.
Yes, I don't think I'd like to buy real estate off him. Miranda, too far out to score. Kick and a half to goal at least from there. He's got in short. Too short. Jamison, James, Hart. Three great defenders for the Crows. The kick comes up towards centre wing. Matthew Knights did everything so far, but the footy's been down there a lot. On to Benny Gale, chased by Vardy. Gale's kick up towards left half forward. Good mark, Richardson. Now he can kick a footy, but the breeze might be just a factor that makes him go a bit shorter. Real up and under one. Huge pack of players down there. Wren palms it further forward. Jarman keen to make amends and covering a lot of territory. Vardy up one-handed. Kick comes down by Costa. A bouncing ball. Modra tries to go off the ground. Came away. Beautifully played. 35-metre hand pass to Gale as the Tigers try to set something up. Tawney gives it back to Callaway,
who pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. But there's the long arms of Wren, those quick hands. Defence has been good, Lee. Caven comes away, goes short and finds Rotherham. Did he hang on to the ball long enough? Yes.
It's just not working for Richmond. They've got no flow in their game. It's just a battle.
Plenty of flow here. It goes to Caven. Runs inside 50. This raking left boot is off target. But all the loose balls in defence, the Crows' defence have just absolutely pounced on. Had plenty of numbers around the ball. Defence has been very impressive in this first term. 26 plays 2. Knights. He's already had 5 possessions and 2 marks. So the skipper gets the hurry up. Just playing his 6th game for the season. So he kicks wide and Gale over the top. So he kicks back towards centre wing Miranda. He's come off the bench, looks lively. Gives it across to Richardson, who can run. But great tackle, brought down by Hart, whose pace matched Richardson. Coming away was Goodwin, so he kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Robin from behind did well, went the punch. Jarman's been very lively in this first term. Looks dangerous already, goes short, those wonderful skills. And he finds Connell.
7-1 for Jarman.
Good 65 metres out, but he pumps the ball long. Backing back, Rishudo's got it! Too strong in that contest. He's the favourite tonight.
These matchups, KB, Rogers on Rishudo and Bond now on Jarman. Basically, Rishudo and Bond, Rishudo and Jarman, I should say, changing in this full forward position, or as another full forward line player. They've both got great height advantages over their respective Richmond opponents, and that emphasised it there. Long high ball, Rishudo is just too strong overhead for Rogers.
Well, from directly in front, he rams it through.
You can get it jumping. You can get it pumping. you can get it less in a suit. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. A long cold Vic. You can get it lifted. You can get it shifted. You can get it any old now. Matter of fact, I got it now. Vic Better.
Power into Fighter 10 and save with these 10 out of 10 nationwide power buys. Dow Corning silicon sealants are $4.95 each. Save $1.60. The McCulloch MacCat chainsaw, $359, includes bonus goggles and gloves. And laser kitchen knives are winners at $4.95 each. So rev up your engines and race in. See our July catalogue.
9 out of 10, out of 10, every time.
The Mitsubishi Express has loading doors on both sides. The competition doesn't. The Mitsubishi Express, working man's best friend.
At McDonald's, we think our service is pretty hard to beat. So we'll give you a voucher for a free Big Mac if your meal isn't served within 60 seconds.
McDonald's 60-second challenge. Your meal in a minute or a free Big Mac.
UltraTune's in tune with you and your car. In fact, 98% of our customers were satisfied or extremely satisfied with UltraTune's service and repairs in responses to a recent survey of RAA-approved mechanical repairer customers. And the other 2%? Well, we're working on it. UltraTune, in tune with you and your car. 15 locations, all endorsed by the RAA.
Someday we'll all be together once more.
When all of the ships come back to the shore,
I'll realize something I've always known. Still close where you're
I say, old chap, have you seen the prices here? They're awfully good. Just have a look at these. You can sip and save on Melbourne Bitter, $24.99. Johnny Walker Red, $26.99. Penfolds Club Port, I say, $6.99. Oxford Landing Chardonnay or Riesling, $6.99. And Rosemount Chardonnay or Cabernet Sauvignon, $12.99 a bottle.
Too bad you didn't get a speaking part.
I did.
On Today Tonight, Adelaide's deadly dog swap. He was ordered to put down his savage dog.
Why don't you talk to us?
So he adopted hers and had it destroyed instead.
Just makes me feel sick.
An innocent pet put down.
How much did you love Caesar? Boobs.
Plus, how to save up to $1,000 a year on your power bill.
Sounds great.
The special tricks that everyone can do.
Very simple.
And we take your washing powder to the lab. See how yours rates. That's next week from 6 on 7.
The scoreboard isn't bad enough. During the break, Matthew Richardson was taken from the ground. Looks like it might be an ankle injury. He's been replaced by Burke, and we'll try and get some news on that with Neil Curley in just a moment. So things not going right for Richmond. Miranda had it and lost it just as quickly. Good tackle by James, and the umpire's going to ball it up. Knight's down there, leading from the front in defence. Richmond under all sorts of pressure at the moment. 33 plays 2. 5 individual goal kickers for the Crows. And they are just blitzing them. Prosciutto from Pittman. Wren up in the middle of the pack. Here's another one. Costa, point blank range. Kicks their 6th. So it is a blitz. 6-3 to 2 behind. And we've got 2 minutes left in the quarter.
Yes, they're just winning everywhere, aren't they, Adelaide? From the centre bounces, which Pittman is initiating, and then just forward they're going, and they're just running onto the ball, really. I just think it's interesting, Sean Wren is one of the few ruckman types playing as a key forward. And again, he didn't mark the ball, but his height really troubling the defence down there, and then Costa just ran onto the ball, and it was a matter of which Adelaide player was going to kick the goal.
Well, Pittman has been very good at getting his hand on the ball first. It's been a great opening quarter for the Crows. There's Pittman once more jumping high. It was against this club Richmond in round 2 when he was called pathetic by Melbourne Blight. So he certainly is all pumped up tonight. He's been absolutely dominant around the ground. So the Crows from the centre square go long, and there's Wren, got his hand on the ball. Jarman, a deft tap out. Here's Pittman once more, covering a lot of ground. Comes back to Costa, gets the ball out wide to Rishudo, working in numbers around the corner. It's it through. Great goal to Peter Barty. This is one of the best quarters of football we've seen this year.
Well, I think there's two things in the game of football. It's how well one side plays and how badly the other plays. And certainly everything's gone right for the Crows, but I must say Richmond aren't giving a yelp at this point of the game. I mean, they're really just on the defensive everywhere. It's just the Crows are doing all the initiating and all the scoring.
Lee Pittman got the knockout and then just continued on down the ground and figured in the passage of play inside 50.
43 points the difference, and we're not yet at quarter time. 7 individual goal kickers for the Crows, and the game, well, you could say almost could be over. Ormond out of them. Campbell, Charles. Well, they haven't got the numbers on their forward line. Hart. The mark taken by Goodwin from half back. They bring it up towards Ormond David on centre wing. Former Melbourne player. Has certainly been a good move as far as he's concerned. Changing clubs. This is Jamison. They come into attack again. Now Modra, will he get a free kick here?
And as Jamison kicked the ball on the wing, his direct opponent Charles was back in the true full forward position, hoping like hell that he didn't get it. He didn't go with him. He left him sort of, 50, 60, 70 metres away, and that spare Crows player got it forward, and then Modra, playing in front, got the final free kick.
His second free kick of the quarter. Interestingly, he hasn't kicked a goal out of their 7. He has now. Different goal kickers.
And Lee, Justin Charles has been taken from the ground.
Yes, well maybe it was prior to that, or maybe it was because of that. It's very hard for forward. Sometimes your defender goes and he's 5 or 10 metres clear. You got to go, because if you don't go, he's going to get up 30 or 40. Here we see Jamison, who's the spare player out of defence. Modra in the front position again. The contact from behind. That time, the umpire saw it, paid the obvious free kick, and the goal.
Curls, what's the news on Richardson?
Yeah, not good for Richmond supporters. He's got a left ankle, which he's been attended to down the room by the doctor and the physio. But I'd say at this stage, no further part in the game.
Well, we just saw the replay of what happened, and it didn't look good. The scoreboard, from a Richmond point of view, probably looks even worse. Goalless in the first term, probably. The umpire will ball it up.
And I must say, the way Pittman is dominating the centre bounces, Justin Charles may be worth a go in there, because just for this quarter, he's certainly dominating Gale.
Well, the stats, 56 kicks to 40, 33 handballs to 21. Huge number of players around the centre bounce. Orenda tries to take it away, but the Crow supporters, a standing ovation. They really have blitzed the Tigers in the first term. 8-3, 51 to 2 behinds, 2 points.
Yes, wonderful quarter of football. They did the initiating. They look like the side that's a yard faster tonight, the Crows. They've been getting to all the loose ball. Pittman has given the ascendancy in the ruck contest, the starting point at every centre bounce, and they're just flowing forward onto the ball. The defence has been on top. I mean, 8 goals, 3 to 2 behinds. That's just a fair indication of what a dominance the Adelaide team had.
All right, well, we'll take a break from Football Park. 49 points the difference at quarter time. Adelaide 8-3, Richmond 2 behinds, 2 points. Welcome back to Football Park. I guess a quarter that Richmond would prefer to forget. No goal kickers, and Matthew Richardson off the ground, as Neil said, with an ankle injury. And speaking of Neil, any further news on that particular player, Curls?
No, not yet, but gee whiz. At the huddles then, I couldn't hear much from Malcolm Blight, but gee whiz, I could certainly hear a lot from Robert Walls.
What was he saying?
He was a very angry man, and he's just demanding a stronger commitment from his players. Like 15 weeks in footy seems a long time, but here we had 15 weeks ago Malcolm Blight saying exactly the same thing that Robert Walls was saying then. Robert just placed not huge demands, but demands on his players to attack the ball harder, show a bit more aggression, and play like a damn team. He was very, very strong, and I'll be very surprised if Richmond don't react in some manner.
Well, for Richmond supporters, let's hope they do. The second quarter from Football Park, 49 points the difference. Hard to believe. Charles out of the centre. Kick comes back towards Naish. A late inclusion on the side. Miranda tries to paddle it forward and get it clear of Hart. Couldn't do so. Burke slaps it wide. Prescott takes the hand pass. He came on in the last minute of play in the first quarter. Oh, crunch! Coverage needed there. Costa will get it back again from Ormond Allen as the Crows have numbers in defence and picked up by Hart in the back pocket.
So Hart goes short. They're full of confidence. Finds Rishudo, just bounces off like a pinball machine. Gets the ball out wide. We see the ball taken over the line.
There was overconfidence on them by Ben Hart. Coming back inside, a short kick to the moving Rishudo. Really, it's a non-percentage play. The Crows wouldn't want to just start playing around with the ball and get away from the basics that have got them the lead.
Chaffey and Tawney in the Richmond dugout. Of course, Richardson up the race with an ankle injury. Campbell, from an almost impossible angle across the face of goal, has been marked by Miranda. So he started on the interchange bench. Now Mark Miranda trying to crib a few metres. He's on a pretty acute angle.
Only Richmond's third shot at goal.
He's kicked 8 goals for the season. Can be a very exciting player. So he's close in. It's gone straight over the line, out of bounds on the full. That just about sums up the first quarter a bit for the Tigers. We could have just about used a normal kick from there. So the Crows fully in control as we see Connell pushes the ball over the line in front of Thompson.
Yeah, it's interesting, Kevin. If he'd been on the other side with his right foot in, I think he would have kicked that for sure. But that right-hand goalpost for a right footer who's got his right side of the boundary line, it's always difficult. It's a very straight kick, a very simple kick. But of course, Miranda wanted to do the check side to make a certainty. I've just miskicked it completely.
Pittman tried to take it out. Rishudo just bullocks his way through. He's been a great player this year. Must be one of the favourites for the Brownlow medal. Ormond Allen pumps the ball up towards the half-forward line. Tate's got Robber in the beat. So he kicks the ball to space. Coming out in front is Harrison. He's been a goal kicker off the bench for the Tigers in recent weeks. We see Gale throws his opponent to the ground and he gives away the free kick. So Pittman to take it.
Pittman at right half-back. Here's Harrison, kicked 4 in the last quarter against Hawthorn. A day on which the Tigers were very much on top. Boots on the other foot here today, though. Now there's a free kick here. The umpire stopped play. It's going to go to the Crows, I think.
Also kicked a couple of goals last week coming off the bench as well, Harrison. So maybe he can do it again tonight.
Peter Caven with the free. Burke punches. Came back on. Hart snaps it. Oh, it won't bounce through. It has. Ben Hart becomes the 9th Adelaide player to kick a goal. 9 singles there. This is quite remarkable as we watch it in replay.
And Ben Hart, he just pushed into the forward line. When you're confident, the team's got the ball, run hard into the forward fifty, the Crows defence. Caven and Hart are both doing that. And the fortuitous bounce, end over end, through she goes. Everything's right, going right for the Crows.
And that's Hart's first goal for the year. 9-3-57. Tigers 2 behind, so a 55-point lead. This time Gale thumps the ball virtually outside the centre square. Miranda pounced on it. It's a hurried kick once more. Playing in front was Charles. Has it punched away by Jamison. Ormond Allen met heavily by Burke. Caught by Miranda. Thrown to the ground. We've got a ball up.
Quite amazing. Adelaide have 9 individual goal kickers. 1 goal each to 9 Adelaide players. That is really sharing it around.
That's rare, isn't it?
A few Melbourne supporters might be surprised too that Ormond Allen's played 15 games this year for the Crows. Can hardly crack it with the Demons. Rishudo, he has his kick smothered. Gaffey, he's got Costa the beat.
But it's funny how a change of club, KB, can really bring out better qualities in a player that you didn't see in his previous team.
And playing in a better side as well.
That helps.
So Costa on screen. Such an important player after coming back from the operation. Harrison showing a bit of flair, takes it out. Jamison, always cool under pressure to James. Defence has been magnificent so far for the Crows. Inside the centre square, tables a high flyer. Robin feeds the ball off. It's a good hand pass, a bad bounce for Jarman. Maybe a bit of magic. Can he pull a rabbit out of the hat? Now you see him, now you don't. Now he kicks a goal.
Jarman, the first Adelaide player tonight to kick 2. 10-3. to Zoot, virtually.
Well, they're enjoying this, the Adelaide supporters, and here we see take third man up in the marking contest but drop the mark. And obviously when that happens, there's a spare forward down on the ground, which was Rubber, and he collected the ball, popped it over to Jarman, and he just finished so nonchalant. Fantastic skills either side.
9 possessions to Darren Jarman, 8 and 1. And the first Adelaide player tonight to kick 2 goals, 10-3 to 2 behind. This is an absolute shellacking. Broderick straight into the arms of Ormond Allen on just wide of the centre square. James has taken the mark. Low down and diving. Pittman too tall. Wouldn't have made much difference there. He was on his own. Tate was late on the scene.
Now let's have a look at this. Sean Red's a step ladder. Oh, that's just a fantastic leap. Sometimes players clamber up the back of an opponent. Montra just basically jumped onto his shoulders, on Bullis' shoulders. Strong hands in front of his eyes.
That was the textbook mark, wasn't it?
That was a textbook high fly.
That will come close to mark of the year, you reckon? That
He's already got that.
I reckon that one was better. He's kicked the goal. 2 goals, 1. 11-3 to 2 behind. Well, the best thing the Tigers have done tonight is to turn up.
Well, it's a fun game when things are going for you, and it's all that way for Adelaide tonight. Let's have a look at it again. We'll see it plenty of times over the weekend, I'm sure. He probably might win first, second, third, fourth, fifth to the mark of the year.
That was more of a classical mark.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was just fantastic.
Well, the other one was just so athletic and so unusual with his back versus
that was a textbook job.
You can just get
Not
an indication.
for me. Oh, you, KB.
Oh, you actually took a couple of big marks, Lee. I can remember you taking a couple of speckies. I took a chest mark once.
He's fantastic, Tony Modra.
Gale all tied up inside the centre square.
But a player like Tony Modra, when you see that coming, the ball was halfway in the air, and you could see Modra was going to have the 3 or 4 or 5 steps at the jump at it. You could feel the whole crowd expectation building. What was he going to do?
It's made for him, wasn't it?
Well, one of the great marks. And certainly one of the most exciting players we've seen play the game.
Stuck in the hands, didn't look like budget.
71 goals for the season. Pittman doing so well around the ground, getting his hand on the ball. Gale tried to sink the slipper. The free kick goes to James. So quick as a flash across to McLeod, but the ball's going to come back.
We start thinking what Robert Wars could do to try and stem the flow, just to sort of try and just make the match more of a contest. The only thing I can think of is giving Justin Charles a run in the ruck. He's a competitive sort of player, and certainly Pittman is dominating Gale. But apart from that, it's just sort of shuffle the chairs on the Titanic.
So it's great. Just Modra once more, the lead from behind. This time Callaway at ground level. It's a hurried kick. Most of the time the Tigers are kicking under pressure. Gale got a bad bounce. The numbers are there. Connell goes to ground. Prescott shows a bit of endeavour. He's just come off the interchange bench. And Curls, I think that Robert Walls got it right at quarter time. There's hardly been a real hard contest for the Crows.
Well, it's just one of these games where everything's going right from there. They certainly are attacking the ball hard and using it very well without a lot of opposition from Richmond.
Burke off and Tawney back on. Thompson went up one-handed. Connell. Chippers in short. Jamison. Here they come again. First quarter, incidentally, was their best ever first quarter against Richmond. There's a free kick here. They're pushing the back. It's going Richmond's way.
That was interesting. Rashudo was the player coming at the pack, whereas Modra jumps on the pack. Rashudo ran over the top of it. Just bowled the pack over.
Campbell. Pittman at the back, punches. Connell nearly. That's out of bounds.
Lee, it's very difficult for a coach under these circumstances because, and you've coached Collingwood to a premiership, when you look around the ground, you don't have a winner virtually in any position.
Well, you know the match is decided already, but you'd want to make it a contest. It's just a question of seeing where we can tighten things up just to make it a contest.
Well, let's see if they can get something out of it here. Bond, a little give. This is Bickley, who can kick long. Bickley out in front of goal. Now there's another free kick here. It's going to Mondra, I think. That's his third free kick of the night, so he's certainly on the right side of the umpires.
Let's have a look at this. Yes, this will see Callaway. Modra was trying to get to the front position, and Callaway certainly leant against him, but I don't know whether those things, Giova's just two players trying to race to get to the front position.
Well, this is a gimme. He's only 20 metres out directly in front, would have to fall over and miss it, but he doesn't.
You can get it jumping. You can get it pumping. You can get it pressing a suit. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. A long cold Vic. You can get it lifted. You can get it shifted. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Vic Bitter.
Power into Bite of 10 and save with these 10 out of 10 nationwide power buys. Save $39 on the Ryobi drill press with vice, run $35. Insulco R3.2 ceiling bats, $19.95. That's 25% extra thermal resistance free. And you can't beat this toolbox, just $20. So rev up your engines and race in. See our July catalog.
9 of 10, out of 10, every time.
Hey. You know, you guys, you seem a little down tonight. Tell you what, let's all get together and recite the oath of acceptance.
I am fast. I am abnormally fast. But I will not hide my speed.
I will flaunt it. I will get naked and roll around in it. Hey, Kenny, you've got to be part of the group, because if you're not, then we can't. Oh, good. That's why we're here.
UltraTune's in tune with you and your car. In fact, 98% of our customers were satisfied or extremely satisfied with UltraTune's service and repairs in responses to a recent survey of RAA-approved mechanical repairer customers. And the other 2%? Well, we're working on it. UltraTune, in tune with you and your car. 15 locations, all endorsed by the RAA.
The new quiet Mitsubishi Verada Xi is a true luxury car. It has a full leather interior, automatic climate control, a 10-stack CD player, SRS airbags, and ABS brakes. It's also so aerodynamic that with a 3.5-litre 24-valve V6 engine, it simply flies. Echo Romeo Alpha Delta Alpha.
Tonight is going to be absolutely huge for those who love a good, hard chat.
Hi, Mum. How you going?
Because tonight, you can call anywhere in Australia for no more than $3 a call with Telstra STD, or anywhere in New Zealand for no more than $15 a call with 0011 International between 6 p.m. and midnight, and talk for as long as you like.
Is that joke or any?
It's just one more way we're making life easier.
Sunday, the greatest threat man has ever faced, is making its way towards Earth.
The doomsday virus. Everyone on board could be exposed.
If they don't land, they die.
That 747 is not to land here.
If they do land,
no one leaves the aircraft.
We all die.
Stop it.
For the first time on Australian television,
We are going down.
the countdown has begun. Pandora's Clock, 8:30 Sunday on Channel 7.
Yes, the scoreline, 12-3-75. What an amazing scoreline. Closed by 73 points, and we've still got 13 and a half minutes to go in this second quarter. So Bickley, the skipper, just pumps it forward. Jarman thought he took the mark. The crowd thought he needed a free kick. Trying to crash his way through was Vardy, taken the ground by Prescott. And the ball is forced over the line for a boundary throw in just 30 metres around from goal.
Justin Charles has gone into the ruck to see if he can just provide a bit of life and enthusiasm and competitiveness in there.
So another chance for the Crows. Modra's booted 3 goals. We saw Charles go up before acceptances. Here's Risciuto. What a day to celebrate his 100th game. Costa, 35 metres out around the corner. It's been taken here by Bullis. He did well. He kept the ball in as well. So a couple of bounces. Can he set something up out of defence? Gets good support from Tape. So a great run by Bullis. Nails the ball to go to the centre wing. This is where they've been falling down. Great tackling by Goodwin. And the defence of Adelaide tonight, when there has been a loose ball or contest, has been absolutely fantastic.
It's one of those games where I'm looking over the field and I can't see a position where Richmond are even breaking even.
Naish, a little hand pass to Campbell, who was statuesque at the time. Costa, he's one of their goal kickers, and they have many. Matthew Knights ties him up. Just looking at the record, the Crows' greatest winning margin over Richmond was in '93 here at Football Park in round 16. It was 139 points, and the way they're going, you'd reckon they're well on their way to breaking that. 12 minutes left in the half. I suppose the main interest is whether Richmond can get a goal. McLeod, he's a goal kicker. Got hold of Naish pretty quickly. Things aren't going right, are they? Charles has kicked well smothered. It's now out of bounds.
Lee, because Pittman got that enormous criticism against Richmond in round 2, do you think he's fired up tonight?
Well, I just wonder, just maybe it's an extra incentive, but he's certainly having a big game.
Well, he's certainly got a few mates that are fired up as well. Harrison. Jamison tries to punch it away. Giles snaps. He might have kicked. No, he hasn't. He's hit the post. Well, it's 2 posters for Richmond. Daffy has one, and Benny Gale now has the other one. And the other behind came in the first quarter, a snapshot by Matthew Rogers. So 12-3 to 3 behind. The difference is 12 goals. McLeod takes the mark in the back pocket, or just up from there. Across to Ormond Allen. He goes straight. Rodman took off before acceptances. No free kick and no mark. Throws at the fall of the ball, then by Caven. Draws a man. Snap it goal by Vardy. And he has put it through. I think it's a pass there. And that's his second. The Crows 13 goals to difference.
Interesting, when Rodman took the big jump there, I'm sure the umpire was going to free kick him for sort of illegal interference, but when he got one hand on the ball, it didn't mark it, but at least brought it down. And then when the ball went forward, well, Caven got through, and it's really which Crows player is going to do the finishing.
Well, the Crows by 13 goals. This is the best performance I've seen this year. Maybe the opposition is not so great tonight, but they certainly are playing a wonderful brand of football, getting in first for the ball, creating their opportunities, plenty of runners, got a great defence. Around the ball, anything that's loose. You see James gives it across to Connell. Harrison's done a couple of nice things since coming off the bench to Daffy, who kicks long. Now this might bounce through. It has. So the Tigers have their first.
It sometimes becomes a cruel game when a side has got well into the second quarter and hasn't scored. The crowd have this perverse pleasure in seeing how long they can go before they get a goal on the board. And Richmond have finally got it. It's disappointed the home crowd, but certainly just to get the scoreboard ticking over, just to give Richmond a little bit of hope, just to keep plugging away.
Well, Daffy booted 3 goals last week against Geelong. He played quite well early. He was benched in the last term, but he is a goal kicker, and the fact that he's opened the count tonight for the Tigers, and there he is once more. So maybe he's coming back to something like his best form. Costa. This time, bundled out of the way by Miranda. Hart, who started the game on Matthew Richardson, who's gone off with an ankle injury, sees the ball over the line. So 81 plays 9. Tony Modras booted 3 goals, Darren Jarman 2, and also Peter Vardy 2, and Nick Daffy the only goal kicker for the Tigers.
Boundary throw in, and a free kick resulting from that, going Adelaide's way. Pittman gets on his bike quickly, very open forward line. Robran behind, grabs it. Tape's got him. Was he off? Is it holding the ball? Is it a mark? What's the umpire going to pay here? I don't think he can pay a mark. No, he's not. Adelaide's percentage is already the best in the competition prior to the commencement of this round, 117.6. It will certainly get a substantial boost if the trend of this match continues in current vein. Close to out of bounds. In fact, it is out of bounds now, taken over by Rashuto. He's been very, very good. As Kev said, probably one of the favourites for the Brownlow.
Just a couple of changes. Knights is in the genuine on-ball position and Campbell has gone on to Risciuto.
17 possessions he's had. James tries to get one away here, but Campbell's got him. So too has Charles. The umpire will ball it up again. We're just past the halfway mark of the second quarter. And the score on the top left is absolutely correct. Your eyes aren't deceiving. Campbell kicks across his body. Oh, Burke, high flyer, trying to get it down to Nation in the end, who's been quiet. Late inclusion for Powell. James, McLeod, the will of the wrist to Pittman. Bombs it high, 45-metre kick to half forward. Oh, great mark. Grabbed in by Caven. A rare mistake from Risciuto. He's had 15 possessions so far. Good tackle by Broderick on Caven. Robert and Tate. Flipped out to Bickley. Bickley goes long. Monroe doesn't get the bounce. And it goes through for one behind.
An interesting situation. Just before this last flurry of play, there was a boundary throw-in on the half-forward flank there for the Crows. Their fullback Jamison and the full forward for Richmond Gale were at the true centre half-forward position for the Crows. From Jamison's point of view, there's no way Gale's going to kick a goal from 100 metres out, so that is really good attacking defensive play.
Crows by 73 points. Pittman, big fist from behind. Ground level, Broderick under pressure. Tawney, been on and off the ground, started on Jarman. James has done some handy things as well for the Crows. It's tight in the clinch, a good tackle by Bond, but he got him without the ball.
This would have been a good tackle if he had the ball, Jarman, but didn't pick it up.
Came from behind, yeah, so it was clever play by Jarman at the same time. So Jarman, it was a look-away kick. You don't see that very often in AFL football. Taken by Pittman, back to Connell. So he kicks the ball deep into the forward line. The high flyer was Caven, punched away at ground level. This is where the Crows have been outstanding. Vardy's already kicked a couple of goals. Going to ground is the skipper Bickley. They pile on top. There's a ball up 45 metres out from Adelaide's goal. So 13-4-82. Tigers 139. Still plenty of action left in this second quarter. Pittman in the ruck against Charles. Tawney caught by Bickley. Loose ball once more, Bond. Super quick. Tries to set it up. Centre half forward. It's a poor kick, Knights, who has done pretty well in defence. He's got 50. Now having a run on the ball as well. 5 and 3.
They've been about their best player.
Inside the centre square. Not much has happened on the Tigers forward line. He kicks the ball long. In front is Jamison, pushed out of the way by Gale. Too big that time. Looks like he may have hurt himself at the same time.
Isn't amazing, this umpiring. I mean, the mark was paid, and I think that's fair enough. But at the game, I saw today an option to say, well, that would have been a free kick for shoving the back for sure. That was the interpretation this afternoon. But I think Gale there, yes, he basically held Jamison under the ball. There's a big difference between holding them under as opposed to shoving them forward. And I think that was maybe right on the fringe of it all, but I think a fair enough mark.
He's only kicked 8 goals for the season. His form has been up and down. Kicking from about 35 metres out. And he's kicked a goal.
So Benny Gale has 1-1. One of those was a poster. 13-4 to 2-3.
Well, that's a situation where Gale certainly has the height advantage over Jamison. It hasn't really been tested tonight, but this was just a long high kick in by Knights. And again, Jamison got the front position, tried to push back. Well, certainly hands on back. I'm not so sure where that should have been a free kick. Nevertheless, the umpire was lenient. Paid the mark.
So the Tigers get their second, kicked by Benny Gale. 1 goal, 1 against his name. Both Richmond's goals coming in this quarter. Rogers kicked their first score of the night, which was a behind. Hart will punch it away from Burke. Miranda has the speed. McLeod can go with him. Warman down and off the ground. McLeod again brushes one tackle, beautifully done. Kick let him down a bit. Broderick, who's been quiet, gets a terrible bounce. Tawney been on and off the ground a couple of times. Good long kick. Gale this time in front. Jefferson punches to the front of the pack. Ormond Allen. Bickley from Broderick. Just about a spiral punt. Rodman, will he get the free kick or mark? Not the mark anyway. Bond. And that's okay as well. Caven. Gets it going quickly. I heard a whistle. Prescott, it's a Richmond free kick. So the advantage paid. Gale again, one-handed. Jamieson, they're a long way from goal. That pair now. Connell takes it from Costa. Oh, gutsy mark taken by Vardy. He re-kicked a couple of goals. Arguably could have got a free kick as well.
He's a very good player, Vardy. Lee. He's been one of the big surprise packets this year for the Crows.
Certainly a very good kick. This is going to be a 50-metre kick, but I would think he is a good chance of kicking it. He's a beautiful kick normally.
Well, his last goal was a terrific left foot snap. Stuttering run up from 50. Needs to bend back. It's coming back. Not enough. The mark. Is that a mark or is it a behind? Bullis has got it.
Was that flying in the air down there?
Modra.
A bird or a plane or Tony Modra?
Oh, that mark before. Well, we'll be talking about that for a while. Burke in front. Couldn't complete it, and here's a chance for Bickley.
So Bickley, a good 65 metres out, kicks the ball long, so it's deep into the forward line. A big pack of players. Caven juggled it, couldn't take it on the second grab. Bullis has been a good defender for the Tigers in recent weeks, but this time he's been king.
They're certainly quite happy to get into their own forward line, the Crows defenders. Caven is spending a fair bit of time in the Crows half-forward line, playing centre-half back, but certainly charging forward with the flow of the ball.
And Hart's already kicked a goal.
Rodman's kicked one, so he's directly in front. He'll kick from just inside 50. There's a dead-eye kick. Goals to Robin.
Yes, he's a good kick, Robin. It's not easy to kick the ball from that 50-metre line, but he did it comfortably. Again, it's just the pressure on the ball carry. The Richmond players well behind on the scoreboard and under pressure, so therefore every time they get the ball, the Crows guys are after them like maniacs tonight.
Peter Vardy's one of those players, Lee, that when a side improves, sometimes you don't catch up with certain players, what role they play in the side and how well they're doing and what their contribution is. I'm certain Peter Vardy is one of those players who's had a terrific season.
Kick up towards half-forward again for the Crows. Rogers, crunched to the ground and the ball jarred free.
Vardy.
Bickley, he got crunched as he kicked by Prescott. Jarman again. Brilliant. Centering kick. Superb vision. That Vardy's taken it 20 metres out from goal directly in front.
Well, it's one thing in football to have the idea and know what to do, but gee, it's nice to have the skills to be able to do it. Not only did Jarman mark the ball in the contest, he saw that Vardy had dropped clear 25 metres out from goal straight in front, just hooked the left foot across the body, dropped it right on his head.
Probably could have kicked the goal himself, judging by his effort in the first quarter. He kicked a gem on the run, similar position, with the right foot. But Vardy, for his third, which he's kicked. Vardy joining Tony Modra as the leading goal kicker tonight for the Crows with 3. Darren Jarman has 2. Matthew Rodman has 2. 3.5 minutes before half-time.
Yes, I think what Jarman's done there, he had a chance of kicking the goal left foot, no doubt about that, but giving the ball to Vardy makes just about a certainty of it from 25 metres out straight in front. A good team play too, encourages your teammates. Malcolm Blight always wants his team to kick towards the front of the goal square. Jarman did to perfection.
He's kicked 18 goals for the season now, Peter Vardy. 18-18. So Pittman in the ruck. Very keen to do well tonight, after being humiliated virtually after round 2 against Richmond. But tonight he has been quite an outstanding
I've rarely seen a ruckman dominate the hit-outs as much as Pittman has tonight. I mean, he's just getting his hand on every ball that he's got a chance of reaching. Having said that, he just got beaten for once.
So Charles McLeod has had a great season as well. He's made that transition from being a half-forward flanker to a damaging defender. Here's Jamieson, who's running out of defence. Loves to take him on. jabs and runs through the centre square. Gives it across to Rishudo. 100 games for the season. Modra goes to ground, intercepted by Jarman. Bond gets the ball back to Callaway. He's been upended by Wren. Tawney under pressure once more, just tumble the ball out. But there's a free kick being paid. It's going to be brought back.
It was for that charge on Tawney.
In fact, it'll go down the field to Thompson. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight, but he's playing his fourth game, and he looks a pretty handy player, Thompson. There's the high flyer in Hart. Must have certainly given away the free kick. Not paid, but the Tigers still have possession of the ball through Campbell. Finds Rogers. He's got pace. Just tumbles the kick forward. Chipping in there was Daffy, but Goodwin did well. Got his hands on the ball. Kicked off the ground by Knights for a minor score.
It's interesting the way that Adelaide set their forward line up. I mean, Tony Modra, of course, is playing at full forward, but Sean Wren's on the full forward line, so is Darren Jarman. There's certainly no hint of being a run-man forward line. I mean, Modra just has to earn his kicks the same as everyone else. Ever see Matthew Richardson? Certainly, at times, they love him out on the field rather than injured and not interchange.
Hart, as I said, he's already kicked a goal. I think he'll try to bounce it again in a hurry. Miranda gives chase. Bond came off the hands of Caven. Bond kicks up towards right half forward. Tigers desperate to get it out of defence. They can't clear the zone at the moment. Crunch, that was Chappie, I think, but taken down. Rishudo having a terrific game, marking in front of Campbell.
18 possessions.
He is blitzing them, isn't he? Will he be the Crows' first Brownlow medal winner? Rodman, quiet in the last few games, but he's certainly made amends tonight. He's kicked 2 goals, one kick a goal from there. He's on centre wing. Distance with the kick. Good punch away by Gale. Wren and Burke go at it. Jamison nearly, and it will be thrown in 45 metres from the Crows' goal. Just over a minute before half time.
And every Crows player forward of centre at this boundary throwing.
Charles at the back of Wren. A cruel bounce there for Tate. Prescott. A little give. Hand pass comes out in the direction of Jarman. Caven says go. He does. Jarman from 45. What else would you expect? It doesn't get any better than that. Jarman kicks his third. 16-4. The Crows crack the top by half-time. The Tigers 2-4-16.
Yeah, it's an exhibition or it's a picnic. It's call it what you like. But as I said, at that boundary throw, and every Crows player was forward of centre. They certainly, the defenders aren't getting cold down defence. They're coming upfield. But then when the ball went to Jarman, he ran. It made it a more difficult kick because he had to really kick across his body at the very end. But his natural kicking action is to hook the ball a bit. For him, it was a very easy kick.
Well, 3 goals to Jarman, 3 goals to Vardy, 3 goals to Modra. So the Tigers have been just completely taken apart in this first half. The free kick has been paid, and it's going to the Tigers.
They've already had their best first quarter against Richmond. They're only a few points away from their best ever second quarter against them as well.
So the Crows lead by 14 goals. So Campbell goes wide to Callaway. Still on the half-back flank. Hasn't been much run for the Tigers tonight. Kicks the ball high. Burke got underneath the ball. Vardy pushes him over the line. So they'll toss it back. 100 plays 16. And no doubt this is the best half of football we've seen this year. Pittman against Charles. Rishudo's had an outstanding first half.
Yes, I've seen some situations where a side has maybe outscored, say, an 84-point margin at the moment, the Crows, where there's been some big margin, but they're mostly late in games when one side is absolutely cleared out. Certainly haven't seen any side 84 points in front at half-time.
Knights battling hard for the Tigers, just shovels the ball out. And Costa desperately dives on the ball.
Well, there it is at half-time. An 84-point margin for the Adelaide Crows. 16-4, 100. Annihilating Richmond 2-4-16.
That's what I love. That's the thing about football.
stats generally tell the story, and if we go to the top of the page, first of all, 61 more possessions in total for Adelaide. That's kicks and handballs. The marks, not too much of a discrepancy there. The tackles, interesting, a margin of 8. The centre breaks, I would have thought, though, that the Crows have got most of those anyway, Barney.
I'm not sure about those stats. Certainly David Pittman's just about got every centre bounce knockout. I would have thought Adelaide are well on top there, but whoever's taken these numbers thinks Richmond are leading 10-9.
And the goal kickers, this is very much a one-sided affair. Jarman, who's been absolutely brilliant with 11 kicks and 1 handball. Mondra 3, he's also got 3 kicks from the umpires. Vardy 3, he's been a very, very good player, and Robin has also kicked 2 goals. So an easy night so far for Malcolm Blight. On the boundary line, I'm not quite sure what I'm seeing. It looks like a poor man's version of Don Scott.
That's my old boundary rider's hat. But no, tonight down here at ground level, it's just a matter of can the Crows keep this performance going. It's pretty difficult to play this brand of football over 4 quarters. I don't know what Robert Walls can do, because he's been beaten in every position. If there's only 1 or 2 positions that you may be down on, well, perhaps you can move some players around and try and plug those holes. But he's got 18 holes out there on the ground, and I don't know how he's going to fill them. It's just impossible for a coach to do it. Malcolm Blight's job, of course, is to keep the Crows, keep their job, keep their mind on the job. And if they can produce another half of football like the first half, well, then that scoreboard could read anything at the end of the game.
Thanks, Curls. If you miss the cab, we'll get you a horse to get you home.
Thank you.
Neil Kirby.
In terms of what Robert Walls may do, Paul Bullis has been moved from defence up to play across the half-forward line. That's one obvious move at the moment. Looking around the field, Burke has taken Bullis' place back in defence. It looks like the majority of the positioning is similar. Prescott given the job on Jarman.
Umpire Troy Burton comes in to bounce the ball to start the second half. 84 points is the margin in favour of the home side. Richmond winning their last 5 games against the Adelaide Crows. Pittman tried to go off the ground. Campbell's got it. He got taken high. The umpire said, though, it's going to be a ball up.
And the other player who's been great for the Crows, they've all been great, I suppose, but it's Mark Rashudo with 18 possessions in that first half. Ben Harrison looks like picking him up at the start of this third quarter. That's an unusual matchup. Harrison played a lot as a key forward.
So a bounce. A little dewy tonight. There was a lot of rain in Adelaide, some showers earlier in the day. The ground's come out of it okay, though. Naish taken to the ground. Tackle applied by Charles. So Richmond going in with a bit more endeavour. The tackling has been solid so far in this quarter. But boy, what a blitz by the Crows in the first 2 terms. And they've got a pretty good run home here at Football Park too. Pittman gets front posse. Can't clear the zone. Daffy in front of James. Goes off the ground. Tap wide for Knights. Tries to paddle it further forward. Rogers. James intercepting. Connell comes in on Rogers to apply a tackle. So an unspectacular start to the third term, and at midfield once again they'll ball it.
I think we can say, Peter, for Richmond supporters who have just joined us, if you don't want to know the score, look away now.
Just to look away.
Let's go down to Neil Curley on the boundary line.
All of us already in this quarter, you can see a bit more commitment from the Richmond boys. I'm not saying they're going to get right back in the game, but at least they're competing harder at this stage.
Campbell from inside the centre square, so he pumps the ball long, deep into the forward line, big fist away from behind. McLeod's been a supreme defender tonight. Turns defence into attack, gives it across to Connell, who kicks the ball back towards the wing. Here's Robin. It's been good. He'll get back to his very best form he showed earlier this year. He's already kicked 2 goals in the first half, goes short, finds Goodwin. So the loose player inside the centre square is Hart. Started on Richardson, who went off with an ankle injury. Campbell goes to ground, gets to his feet quickly. Great smother. That was by James. This has been typical. And James follows up, wins it, breaks the tackle, gives it across to Bickley, rockets the ball wide. Costa comes down, runs inside 50, unloads a big bomb. From behind.
Good effort by James, wasn't it? Just kept going. Coaches love that. 16-5 to 2-4. Bond is going to bring the ball back. That's Chris Bond. And of course number 18 for the Crows, Troy Bond. Wren, who kicked the first goal of the match. Costa also kicked one from close in. Vardy. Burke on the mark. Caven. Too far out to score, you'd reckon, from there. Bond being brought back on the mark.
Get up above Pittman's head and see if Modric can take another jump. Let's get some excitement here.
Fantastic mark. If you just joined us, Modric took in the second quarter. Here he goes again. Couldn't get his claws on that one. Campbell rides the bump well. Bouncing ball. Bullis. Hart is there. Chaffee hits the deck. Former Caulfield grammarian. Well, that's a high tackle on Hart, you reckon? And it will be against Bond. Defender Hart, but he's kicked the goal tonight. In fact, the Crows' first 9 goals came from 9 different players, if you can believe that. McLeod, he was one of them. Burke, oh gee, well, we've seen some interesting free kicks tonight. That could have been one. Jarman doesn't miss anything from that range and kicks his foot. 12 kicks for Darren Jarman. Not too many hand passes, but he's notched 4, as I said.
Let's have a look at this. McLeod running the ball forward. Could have been a free kick here over the top. We'll have a look at Jarman the way he picks the ball up. Just touches the ball, flicks it up, runs to the front of the goal square to open up the angle across the body. He's a magician when he's in touch, and tonight he's really in touch.
Four goals to Darren Jarman. Those beautiful silky skills. Pittman, once more, his first hand on the ball. Bickley has the kick smothered. Charles, it's a wild hand pass, hoping to clear the centre square. Knights comes through, finds in the arms of Bickley, who goes to ground. The hand pass is off target. One of the rare mistakes tonight for the Crows. Harrison goes wide and finds Gale. So Jamison on the mark. Benny Gale has kicked the goal tonight for the Tigers. Miranda's lined up at full forward in his third term, and on the second grab he's got it. Started on the interchange bench, came on, showed a bit of life, and has started in the goal square after the main break.
Yeah, it has been a goal kicker at various times, Richmond. The ability to kick multiple goals was that small player, but that is a marking. Certainly when they're kicking the ball up high, it's not going to suit his being not a tall player, but that star at that time was able to judge it well.
Well, he's directly in front. It's a poor kick. Oh, it's not. It's a goal. Well, I take it back and I apologise to Mark Miranda. It just flopped off his boot.
Yes, it did. But
it just seemed to float, I thought, to the left-hand side of the goalpost.
Good shot on the camera from behind the goals. It was certainly heading for a behind, but somehow virtually veered back at the last minute here. And this is not a situation that Brendan's going to mark a lot of balls in those kind of pack situations. Have a look at this. Looks like it's heading for the points. Then here it comes, just veered back. The old in-swinger.
Well, the main thing is, you've got the 2 calicos from the goal umpire.
Mark Miranda kicks the Tigers third. Still 85 points the difference. Charles. Harrison. Naish has been very quiet. Came into the side at the last minute to replace Powell. Chaffee caught underneath it. McLeod has taken the mark and been paid. Across the goal to Ben Hart. As I said, one of 9 Adelaide players that kicked their first 9 goals. Rashuda's playing his 100th game. He's been terrific. Number 36 for the Crows is Simon Goodwin. The half forward. Roderick looked as though he was taken high. Good enough to get a hand pass to Bond. There's a whistle. And the umpire says a Richmond free kick.
Mark Bickley's done a fantastic job on Paul Broderick. Hardly touched the ball. Was at his 8th possession. So very good stopping job by Bickley in the dispersion of the flow of the Adelaide attacking game.
Gale to Chaffee. It's Broderick, the reigning best and fairest too in Tigerland. Bullis couldn't complete it. McLeod again. His skills have certainly improved. Ormond Allen taps it forward towards his own 50-metre line, or defensive 50-metre line. Costa, Bullis, Jarman, James. Good tackle, Naish. Ball jarred free. The umpire said it's going to be a free kick now, a ball up. 14 minutes left in the third quarter. A one-sided affair at Football Park, but that's taking nothing away from the interest in the game, because the Crows are certainly going to build their percentage, which is already the best in the competition before this round got underway, and they will move up to second place on the ladder. Daffy's kick is short to Campbell, missed it. Jamison, quick poke out of defence. Chaffee. Good pick up by the youngster. Into the forward pocket. Miranda's his target. Didn't get any further than that. Mandela knocks it over the boundary line. And don't forget, talking footy on Monday, Chris Grants is our special guest. Check your local guides for details of telecast times in your area.
Chance for the Tigers, just 30 metres around. Gale got his boot to the ball. And we see the ball just tumble over. McLeod on screen. He's been an outstanding player. 12 possessions and 2 marks. He's also kicked a goal coming off the half-back line.
Neil Cooley's right, this game is well decided, but certainly in this first 7 or 8 minutes of the third quarter, Richmond have been at their most competitive at any stage in this match.
So Pittman down to Connell, gives it back to McLeod. He's continued his good form this third turn, pumps it back. Bond pushing and shoving with Bond. So it's Bond versus Bond.
Bond's free kick. That's been one way.
So the Crows go forward towards the half-forward line. Big Ren's got the sit. Just couldn't hang on to the Sharon. Tawney started on Jarman. Jarman the tackler. Kicks a high ball back towards the edge of the centre square. Roderick not enjoying his best night. Bickley has been outstanding. Back to Pittman, who's been great. Kicks the ball deep into the forward line. Pushed under the ball. Coming out to Callaway in front. Looked like he was held. Jarman has kicked a goal. Number 5.
Intuition and keeping an eye on the ball. Staying cool. That's the difference between good service and great service.
Now you know why the Woodies choose to fly Qantas.
I say, old chap, have you seen the prices here? They're awfully good. Just have a look at these. You can sip and save on Melbourne Bitter, $24.99. Johnny Walker Red, $26.99. Penfolds Club Port, I say, $6.99. Oxford Landing Chardonnay or Riesling, $6.99. And Rosemount Chardonnay or Cabernet Sauvignon, $12.99 a bottle.
Too bad you didn't get a speaking part.
I did.
Power into Fight at 10 and save with these 10 out of 10 nationwide power buys. Dow Corning silicon sealants are $4.95 each. Save $1.60. The McCulloch MacCat chainsaw, $359, includes bonus goggles and gloves. And laser kitchen knives are winners at $4.95 each. So rev up your engines and race in. See our July catalogue.
Mine are 10 out of 10 every time.
Tonight is going to be absolutely huge for those who love a good, hard chat.
Hi, Mum. How you going?
Because tonight, you can call anywhere in Australia for no more than $3 a call with Telstra STD, or anywhere in New Zealand for no more than $15 a call with 0011 International between 6 p.m. and midnight, and talk for as long as you like.
Is that joker any?
It's just one more way we're making life easier.
The Mitsubishi Express has loading doors on both sides. The competition doesn't. The Mitsubishi Express, working man's best friend.
At McDonald's, we think our service is pretty hard to beat. So we'll give you a voucher for a free Big Mac if your meal isn't served within 60 seconds.
McDonald's 60-second challenge. Your meal in a minute, or a free Big Mac.
Are you criminal? Yes, I am, mate.
Work with him.
You're not going to believe your eyes.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, I'm Mike Whitney.
So I hope you can join us
For a truly holy experience. Will touch all Australian families.
You cannot get more dangerous.
Good evening also tonight. Hello everyone, well another cold day in Adelaide. Hello and welcome to Today Tonight.
Watched by more people than any other station. Adelaide's #1, Channel 7.
It's 1996. A beautiful young Adelaide model marries the love of her life. Everything is perfect. Until now.
My dogs are
In one missing hour, someone took Corinna Ma's life. But was it someone she knew?
Adelaide, we need your help.
Plus the latest door-knocking scam. They appear honest, but we'll show you 2 cunning women who fooled everyone. And 3 new arrests. Hear how police track them down. Australia's Most Wanted, 7:30 Monday on 7.
And Chris Bond, I think he injured that ankle in the tangle of bonds there, and he's been taken from the ground. 5 goals to Jarman out of their total of 18. It's 18-5 to 3-4. And of course Richardson off the ground early with an ankle injury. Punched on by Robert, who's opposite number 10 is Daffy. Beautiful smother by Bond. He was taken high. The umpire lets it go. Daffy kicks up towards centre wing. Caven got one high. The umpire says nothing for that. Costa confronted by Rogers. Back to James. Time to steady. Beautifully delivered to down to Connell. Lovely give. Caven on the burst. 55 metres out. Straight into the arms of Robert. Back to his best form tonight.
And I would say Peter Caven has maybe had the best couple of months of his league career playing at half-back for the Crows. He was shifted there after they struggled a little bit in the first month and been a very, very good player across half-back, running forward with the ball. Good disposal to find Robin.
Robin's kicked 2. Distance not a problem. Neither is accuracy. He's got 3. 19-5 to 3-4. Well, interstate teams are dominating at the top of the AFL table, and you just wonder on the performance we've seen so far, Barney, that Adelaide, are they premiership material?
Well, they're going to finish right up there, so they've got to have as good a chance as anyone at this time. I think there's one basic fact, however, the grand final's not played at Football Park.
Correct.
But if it was, they would be favoured, I can guarantee you that. But certainly now the Richmond competitive is really going to be tested because all of a sudden the Crows have got themselves flowing again.
119 plays 22. You can't play better than this. This is a superb performance tonight by Adelaide. James out of the centre square. Pumps the ball deep. Tape in front of Robin. Just couldn't take it. It's a tough night for defenders. The ball is down there all the time. They're under enormous pressure. Tape at the bottom of the pack. A free kick. So Campbell, who averages 26 possessions, comes away from half back. Pops it out in front. It's been marked by Bullis. Starting defence, is now playing on the forward line. So the Tigers have made several moves. There's the high fly from behind is Jamison. Ground level, Caven. I think you're right, Lee. He's having a purple patch, but the free kick is coming back to Gale. Kick straight into the man on the mark. Jamison. Don't argue, pushes off. Hutton's his best. Poor kick though, goes to Bullis. Just pumps the ball back. Miranda's trying to be a high flyer. Hasn't got the inches for it. At ground level, Chaffee on and off the ground. Back to Charles, outside of 50. Kicks long. Puts it through for a minor score. Let's go down to the boundary line. Here's Neil Curley.
Yeah, young Chris Bond, as Peter was right, he did injure that ankle in that tangle with the other Bond. It's a right ankle, and they're just letting it cool down and see if it settles.
Thanks, Curls. 16 goals the difference. Doesn't sound that much when you say it quickly. Jamison, he's got out very wide, but it was accurate enough to find Ormond Allen. And he's another player that's really improved since he came from his former club, which was, of course, Melbourne. Hart had it, lost it. Campbell, up and under. Tape, effective. Harrison, kicked 4 in the last quarter against Hawthorn. Wren, up one-handed. Still Wren. Underneath it is Jamison. They come from everywhere. Like a tag team wrestle. Peter Caven on top. As they disentangle the arms and legs. There's a few in there. That's the Bond ankle, I would reckon. As we pull back. Bit of ice on that. Bounced out. 15 metres out from goal. McLeod. Quick kick, just plays it half back. Comes up to the centre wing. Take, written to the ground by Costa. best and fairest letter at front row. Towards half forward. Chris Naish, well, has been a goal kicker in his career. Miranda makes a lead. He's had trouble getting his hands on the Sharon tonight. Runs in, runs around, kicks at goal. That's pretty close. I think he might have kicked it. He has. He's put it through. Chris Naish, the late replacement in the Richmond side tonight for Robert Powell, kicks the Tigers fourth.
And that's his forte, Chris Naish, the ability to kick goals, but really hasn't got enough of the ball just recently to be able to put that skill into practice. But as a small goal kicking forward when he's on, the ability to make goals from those half chances, and that was one occasion where we made it happen.
Yes, and I agree, Lee. That'd be great for Chris Naish's confidence. Hasn't had the best of years, but that's what he's capable of doing. 68 goals now for the season. The kick is coming back here to Richmond.
And the free kick's dead even at the moment, 13 each.
So Nick Daffy inside the centre square. The Tigers' first goal. Ball punched away by Hart at ground level. Campbell at the fumbles, taken by Rogers. Quick snap, this can bounce through.
Tony Rogers was first. Kicked their first score of the night, which was a behind.
The Tigers only kicked 2 goals in the first half. They've booted 3 goals in this third term. And at least they've come out and shown a bit of fight.
Well, they've tried to get a bit more mobility into the forward line. Miranda's playing in that role at full forward. And they're just getting their hands on the ball a little bit better. As we've mentioned, for most of this quarter, it's been a fairly good contest. The scoreboard of the match result is well decided. But Richmond have at least hung in there and are having a go in this first part of the third quarter.
Goalless in the first quarter. They only kicked 2 in the second, so this is their best term so far, Richmond. Under 9 minutes left in the term. Wren having a stint in the ruck. James to Rashudo, taken down. Good tackle by Harrison. Holding the footy. Harrison's kick. Diagonally across the ground, looking for Charles. Rogers again. Roved it beautifully onto the left foot. Miranda the target. Ormond Allen has taken the mark on the last line of defence. Mr. Goodwin in the pocket. Goodwin's gone up towards half back. Still gone out to the pocket and found McLeod. Miranda stands the mark. McLeod having a good night. Already a goal kicker himself. Willis couldn't complete it. Broderick trying to get onto his left. Ultimately succeeds in doing that. Wren too tall. Oh, he's almost brought it down. Miranda trying to go off the ground. Kicking in danger. So Ormond Allen has taken the free kick. Bickley has to wait. Didn't matter, nobody came at him. Bickley from halfback, his own defensive 50-metre line. Robran on the burst in front of Tate. We had a couple of quiet weeks. Was the form centre half forward of the competition earlier in the season. Speaking of form, Jarman, Mr. Magic. Can he make it? Number 6. Jarman in the goal, you'd back him. 15 metres out, and he's got it. Good footy. Well, you'd reckon 3-round no votes for him tonight. 25-5.
It was interesting, Kate, but you mentioned early in the game when Tawney lined up against him, he pushed his body against him aggressively. That matchup didn't last long because Bond quickly got onto Jarman. What we're seeing now is when Jarman gets his confidence up and gets comfortable in the game, he's just so dangerous, and Richmond have allowed him into that basis. Now it's too late.
6 goals to Darren Jarman, 3 in this third term. Superb performance tonight. 125 plays 35. Wren thumping the ball. Pittman was the star of the first half. Now Wren is having a crack at him at the centre bounce. Neil Curley down the boundary line. Is this? I mean, you see the Adelaide side week in and week out. You can't fault their performance tonight. They're just absolutely sensational.
No, they are playing very good football, and you just sort of wonder just how much pressure Richmond are applying. They seem to be trying to apply the pressure, but the Crows are just far too good tonight.
Curls, while you're down there, I mean, the difference between Darren Jarman when his confidence is up like it is tonight and those days when he's tagged out of the game and, he doesn't really look interested sometimes.
Well, it's a good move by Malcolm Blight because, as you say, you put him down forward, he just plays as a forward, so it doesn't matter who they've got opposed to him, where if he's in the midfield and you've got a tagger on you, it does make the game very difficult. But you've seen him as much as I've seen him, Lee, and when he's on, but sometimes he just goes off the ball a bit.
Caven, who's been pretty handy, just tumbles the ball towards the boundary line. Well, Lee Matthews is the star of league teams, and of course he'll be going again tomorrow night, or Monday night, I should say, Lee.
No, we're talking league teams now.
League teams.
This is your show, KB.
League teams.
Don't turn up on the wrong side.
Sandy and KB and Bobby.
About talking footy. That's one of the highest rating shows in Australia, league teams. Huge success in Adelaide and Perth, and just growing in status in Melbourne. It's a juggernaut in Melbourne, in fact.
Well, you better tell them it's Thursday night and not Monday night.
No, that's talking footy on Monday night.
Just look at your roster.
11:30 on Thursday nights. 125 plays 35. Gale, Dinesh.
An interesting work again. We mentioned this thing of Tawney picking up Jarman for the first minute of the game. He's ended up on him finally late in the third quarter, and just the horse may have bolted because Jarman is just up and going now, but Tawney at least looks like he wants to get his body against him and make him earn it.
So over the top, the Tigers with Knights winning possession inside 50, but playing in front is hard. He's got back to his best. He was twice an All-Australian. The kick got smothered, so Rogers can pump it forward. It's a rush kick.
1 goal 2 to Matthew Rogers.
It's that situation where Connell had got free in the centre square and Hart was just trying to play the ball on to get it to him. He was for a long way away, but of course in the hurry had the kick smothered.
Jamison kicks in, former leading goal kicker for the Crows. Pinpoint accuracy. Brilliantly done, Caven. As you said, Barney, playing some of his best AFL football. Still Caven, he wants to kick a goal. From 45 metres out, what a run! Deserved better. And he is kicking himself. He missed what turned out to be probably as close to a sitter as you'll get.
Nothing's a sitter when you've run 100 metres.
Probably not.
Pete, I reckon that's the problem. But certainly charged from the back of the centre square, had 4 or 5 bounces.
That would have been a great goal.
But then couldn't keep it on line.
Would have been a terrific goal. Punch away by Wren. Burke. Spiral punt kick. Not a huge one distance-wise. McLeod. Back to Connell. Confronted by Broderick. Bickley at left centre wing. Great skills from him. Bomb. Makes the mark in front of Ryan. He's too far out to score. Centering kick. Pittman nearly. Campbell puts his body on the line. Jarman charged at him. And that did take courage. So 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Certainly Richmond's best, but they still trail by 90 points. And Robert Walls and the avuncular figure of Tony Jewell there on the right of screen. Obviously a little worried. Burke. Maybe the understatement of the night. Walls says the crowd. The umpire says no. Play on. There's no free kick there. Tawney gets himself up, so too does Charles, asking the question, and Big Wren extricates himself from the turf as well. 65 metres out. Wren doesn't clear the zone. Burke on the bottom, has to get it out quickly. Could have been pinged for holding the ball. Bond, quick hand pass. Kick. And it's a goal. 21-6. James may have kicked it. Well, I think yes, James.
Yes, it's just a matter of which Crow's going to kick it. It's Matty Connell, and he's another goal kicker for the Crows. Certainly, at least their 10th. The Crows players have really been queuing up tonight. Richmond have given it a bit of a go in this third quarter, but as the half-time enthusiasm wanes a bit, the Crows are just getting it clear even further.
So right the first time, Matty Connell's goal, 21-6 to 5-6. 3 minutes left in the quarter. and nearly 100 points the difference.
So here's Jarman, the star of the night, out of the centre square. Comes to Vardy, over the top. Robert runs into the open goal. Bangs it through. He's kicked 4. Jarman has kicked 6. Vardy's kicked 3. Hodges booted 3. It's raining goals at Football Park.
Darren Jarman, have a look at him, just barged his way through there, being tackled by Tawney, but got the quick kick in. That's just that forward pressure. If you're under pressure, keep the ball running forward. Amazing how your teammates will run onto the ball. That happened for the Crows, and initiated from the ruck, out of the centre square by Darren Jarman, finished off by Rodman.
Brent versus Gale. Amazing scoreline, 22-6. 138 to 5, 636. 10 individual goal kickers tonight for the Crows. Here's the skipper, Bickley to Robin. Bickley, inside 50, around the corner. Can he bend it back? He can't. And you can hear the moans and the groans from the Adelaide fans.
Well, they've got the 100-point margin. Now they're looking for more. They wanted to get that 100 points in front. They've achieved that. And we're not even to three-quarter time.
You've got some records there, Pete.
They've had some big wins, Kev, over Richmond. 139 points is their biggest in 93, round 16 here. In 92 at the MCG, round 20, 110 points. And in 93, round 1 at the G, 94 points. So they're heading for at least their second biggest win over the Tigers at the moment. Jarman doesn't get a good bounce. He gets tripped up instead. Caven off one step. That's as far as it's going. He kicks it to Naish. Charles, Goodwin late on the scene, but he checked himself. Justin Charles. Jamison underneath it. Knights gives chase. It's out of bounds. So the Tigers will be looking for some respectability, if that's possible, when you trail by that margin. In the last quarter, they were competitive in the early part of this term. Another change being made. Coming back on is Thompson, and it was, I think, Prescott that went off. Wren. Miranda, taken down by McLeod, and it's going to be a free kick.
Here's the high tackle indicated by the umpire for that bit of contact for Morgan Allen.
Not from McLeod, his tackle was legitimate. Free kicks 14 to Adelaide and 15 now to Richmond. Tony Modra, I think, has got most of any player on the ground. He's got 3. Mark Miranda for his second. Mr. Sitter as well. What's he done with this one? He's missed that one likewise. Out of bounds on the full. Hart. Wren and Charles. Charles from the back. Caven takes it over the line in front of Campbell and Charles, and it will be thrown in. 60 metres from goal. Wayne Campbell, almost up to his average, 15 and 3. That hasn't been a dominating figure out there tonight. The dominance has all been one-sided. Tawney's kick smothered. Daffy attempted to get a good one. Caven across his body and across Rogers, back towards centre wing. Great mark at the back by Rodman in front of Clay. Good use of the body onto Bickley. As I said, not one of his side's goal kickers. He won't kick one from there. Jarman having a field day. Jarman kicks into the pocket. Modra edges out his opponent in Callaway, and a push. It's going to be a free kick to be taken by the Tiger defender. Now let's see what happened here. Free kick. Got him a little high. Callaway's kick to half back. Wren in front. Couldn't complete the mark. Caven everywhere. Kicked by Charles. Miranda well up the ground, long looping hand pass. Daffy, almost a hospital job. Daffy quick kick, did well. Chaffee missed it. Campbell ridden into the ground, ball jarred free. McLeod and Miranda. Miranda lost it. Umpire calls play on. And finally the kick comes from Goodwin up towards midfield.
So it's inside the centre square. Long raking hand pass comes from Bickley to Caven. What a game he's playing. Drills it and finds Rishudo. Playing his 100th game tonight. Big milestone for Rishudo, who's had a sensational season.
Mentioned a couple of times during the game, Tony Modra is interested tonight. He hasn't really led tonight. And I really think he is, in a way, playing as a decoy. It's Jarman and Ricciuto who've been changing on the full forward line. They're the ones who seem to be coming at the kicker upfield. Modra seems to be anchored back in the goal square, but certainly working because they've kicked 22 goals. Modra's only got 3 of them.
So Ricciuto right on the siren, and he's kicked a goal. What a way to end for the Adelaide side. Sensational third term. So far, 3/4 of the best football we've seen this year. Mark Ricciuto on screen. He's had 20 possessions. He's kicked 2 goals. Darren Jarman's booted 6, 3 in this third quarter. And Matty Knight's the Richmond skipper.
Yeah, their gun players have been that way. Jarman, Ricciuto, just when they play well, the Crows are going to play well, and they've certainly turned it on tonight. But really, every Crows player has just been on top in his position, and it's just a hanging-in situation for Richmond. The game was gone a long time ago.
109 points the difference at three-quarter time. Malcolm Blight won't be pulling any more hair out. 23-7 to 5-6 in the last change. We'll take a break. Back in a moment. 23-7 to 5-6, and Darren Jarman has 6 goals, Robran 4, Modra 3. Only had 5 kicks, but he's probably taken one of the marks of the year as well. Vardy 3 and Ricciuto 2, and a very disconsolate Robert Walls making his way off the ground. Let's go down to he's not the man from Snowy River, he's the man from Westlakes tonight.
Thanks, boys. Well, Malcolm Blight has taken 3 players off the ground at three-quarter time. We have Wren, Connell, and I think Vardy to give those 3 new players a run. That's the situation here with the Crows are just in complete control, and there's nothing the Richmond team can do to stop them. It's a fantastic performance by the Crows players. Malcolm Blight would have to be very pleased. He's just asked them to keep concentrating, whereas Robert Walls was just pleading for his players to come up with a stronger effort to show his supporters back home that are watching that at least they can compete in the last quarter, but that's about all he can do.
Yes, I don't think anybody would argue on that score, Coles. But Jarman has been brilliant. 16 and 1, about the same number of hand passes you used to give in a season, KB.
Thanks very much, Pete.
And when you kick the ball like Darren Jarman, I don't think you should be handed off too much by hand. What do you think, KB?
No, he's a sensational player tonight. He's had all of those silky skills. You can see the look on his face there. He'd be pretty contented.
But he really is. He's like a Nathan Buckley. They should only have a handful of handballs because they're such good kicks. Unless it really is absolute certainty handball, you might as well finish it yourself. They're so good at it.
Pittman and Gale contest the first bounce of the final quarter. The difference is 109 points. The Crows trying to make it a record win. Whether they succeed remains to be seen. Goodwin with the left foot. A bouncing ball. A fickle bounce favours Tape initially. Tawney does well. Straight down the ground. Bullis. Hard at the back. Mops up nicely. Goes out wide. And the mark taken by Sampson. It's in a Rogers. Sampson just on the ground. Having his first run. And taken over the line by James. Between wing and half forward on the outer side. James, 3 seasons at Collingwood, where he made his way across the border. Back across the border. 2 number 15s, Pittman and Charles. Oh, that's a tear high. Sampson again. Gale, nearly. He's going to be paid the mark. Benny Gale, a little bit casual. Towards midfield. Underneath it was Rintoul. Daffy bends it towards half forward. Miranda. The bounce favours Ormond Abbott initially. And the kick comes from Goodwin. 34 for Richmond. Thompson. Lunch goes Costa and Ben Hart again. Pops up beautifully.
He's been the consummate defender tonight. He's been marked by Gale inside the centre square. Back towards the half forward line. Miranda in his sights and he's got it.
Gee, that's nearly 50, isn't it?
Good call, Peter.
Yes, a bit late, a bit aggressive. I think the umpire didn't have too much hesitation in pulling Miranda back. Orman Allen just really trying very hard to make sure he earned it, and he certainly did that, but it also cost him 50 metres and a certain goal.
He kicked a goal in the third quarter, so this will be his second goal coming up. He started on the bench.
First multiple goal kicker for the Tigers.
So Richmond have their sixth goal on the board.
I don't know whether Matthew Knights is fully fit, but he's certainly been a bit in the land of the missing tonight. Had a very, very quiet game. I mean,
good first quarter.
Yeah, I suppose, but since then we've hardly known he's out on the ground. He's had plenty of Tiger mates. Just wonder whether how his fitness is. He doesn't look like he's running all that freely.
Goes by 103 points. It's been a sad night for the Tigers. Gale this time. Then does his own crumbing. Broderick, who's had a very quiet night. Midfielders for the Richmond side tonight have really struggled. Orman Allen, player who's growing in stature, taken by Hart. Got that great pace out of defence. Just pumps the ball up towards the half-forward line. Gale got back. Tate came into the side. Facing Gaspar. Broderick kicks the ball back towards Burke. So maybe a bit of rebound football for the Tigers. Maybe they lift the confidence. Toyney comes away from the half-back line, gets good distance, so he drives the ball long. Miranda from behind. Akrama Costa. So now the loose player's been set up. Bickley, the skipper, can come away from half-back and kicks the ball long. Looking for Collins, who spent the first three quarters on the interchange bench. Malcolm Blight giving Collins and Sampson a run in this final quarter.
And Rintoul.
So the youngster from McLeod kicks the ball up where the half-back line where we see Shepherd taken by Gale, but Shepherd has been paid. So Robram kicks down. He's looking for Tony Modra, who was held. I thought he was held. Wasn't paid. The Pro supporters also thought he was hung on to, but finally it's pushed over the line.
Don't think there's too much doubt. If the umpire had the view we had, it would have been a free kick, but it must have been unsighted. Otherwise, I'm sure that would have been a free kick to Modra.
So he's got 5 kicks and 3 of them have been frees. But what they'll be talking about tomorrow is the marking talk. Jarman, can he make it 7? Oh, he has! He can do no wrong! 7 goals at Darren Jarman. 17 kicks, 1 hand pass, and 7 goals.
Tell you what, he's kicked him in a few fashions tonight. I mean, that with the check side across his body with his right foot. He's hooked him with his left foot. He's hooked him with his right foot. He's just done all kinds of finishing skills. His confidence is up. And have a look at that. Across the body, a deliberate outswinger. A beautiful finish. He really is a classic player when he's up and going.
Should be at Headingley.
151 to 42. The Crows already with a healthy percentage. It will be the best in the competition by a long way at the end of tonight. McLeod. They haven't had a weak link really. Caven has been good. So has Robert. Back to his best form. Misses the mark. Good pressuring by Tate, who gets the hand pass away to Rogers. Rogers left centre wing will look for Daffy. Daffy further downfield. Long bomb inside 50. Miranda the target. Ormond Allen. Blocked by Bullis. Kick away by Goodwin's effective up towards centre field. Thompson. Rintoul. Would have been held. Crowd certainly thought they saw something. Umpire's going to come in and ball it up. 15 and 3/4 minutes remaining in this match. The Crows intent on building their percentage even further, and Richmond trying to get some respectability. Mark Miranda, their only multiple goal kicker. He has 2. Gale wins it. Not for long. Kick away by Ryan. Rintoul and Rogers. Rintoul, former West Australian. Now, was that in danger? We saw one just a couple of minutes back. The umpire says this time no. Play on. Charles tries to. He's pinned. Good tackle missing one. Coles on the boundary line. You've got something for us?
Yeah, Matty Richardson, just a report there for the Richmond people watching. It's a nasty ankle injury, and from my experience, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks at least.
Quickly to Costa. So they pump the ball deep into the forline once more. It's a loose ball at the back of the pack. Modra will kick it off the ground. Couldn't quite get boot to ball. Ryan in the back pocket for the Tigers. Steps over the line. It's rare to see Tony Modra miss kicking the ball off the ground.
They don't take kicking off the ground statistics, but I'd be surprised if too many players have kicked a bigger percentage of their goals certainly off the ground than Tony Modra. He's a soccer expert.
Another big crowd at Football Park. Pittman has played a great game tonight. Daffy under pressure, forces the ball forward by Naish. And once more the pressure from the Adelaide players. Great shepherding by Bickley. Sampson pumps the ball long. Modra might have to sit here. Too much carry on the ball. So Mark Bickley, the skipper, enjoying a very good game. 24 possessions and 2 marks. Mark Risciuto, his 100th game tonight, 20 possessions, 3 marks and 2 goals. 20. Kicks wide, looking for Burke. In front of the pack is Daffy. So from the half-back line, he just pops it up. It's a dangerous kick. His teammate under a lot of pressure. Jamison was caught high. It's the roar of the crowd. Hard to satisfy here at Football Park. Leading by 110 points.
Free kicks to Adelaide, 17, Richmond 16.
So Jamison finds a loose player in McLeod. He's inside the centre square, virtually smack bang in the centre of Football Park. Loose player out wide. Pittman should have taken it. So Ryan pumps the ball back towards the half-back line. Sampson, taken by Jamison, rockets the ball to Bickley, goes short to Modra. Champagne football by the Crows.
I think Tony Modra was pretty happy that none of his teammates between him and his kicker, and he could actually lead into space. It seems like his 2 fellow forwards keep booting him to the lead. That's one of the few times today I can recall Modra running hard into space. But certainly he's obviously nothing wrong with his fitness because he did it well.
From 45 metres out, Tony Modra. I can't miss.
Shh. This way. Introducing the new Magna Wagon. Stylish on the outside and jumbo-sized on the inside. With extra safety features like the new Tri-Safe rear seat. With a passenger protection panel. Plus a centre lap sash seatbelt, and all the handling and performance of the award-winning Magna sedan, so you won't know you're driving a wagon unless you look in the trunk.
Can we keep him, please?
The new Mitsubishi Magna Wagon.
At Strathfield, you get the best network, the latest range. Nokia 1600 Digital's latest model, only $129. Nokia 2110E Digitals for high users, pay nothing. Nokia pocket-sized 8110 Digitals for high users, pay nothing. Nokia genuine hands-free system to suit 100-101 to clear only $39. Nokia batteries $19, only at Strathfield. Call 1311 77.
Never before seen on television, an absolutely new ad found.
Still no tongue.
See Sappy in a surprising new light.
She is a virgin in a world where men will even turn to soft fruit for pleasure.
First a proposal.
You marry me?
Then the announcement.
Are you happy for me? Yes, I'm very happy.
Now there's the in-laws.
This is Saffron. What lovely hair. That's all right, that'll come off when it does.
A 2-hour special event. Optus presents the absolutely fabulous finale. 8:30 Thursday on 7.
We've got it all. Sofas, recliners, solid timber, country style, sumptuous, and now Fabio Mazzero quality leather, and at the lowest price or it's free. Discount Lounge Centre, Ranella, Parafield City and Anzac Highway.
It's you, very you. If you really love fine diamonds, then Shepherd's is really you. With an exquisite range of unique diamond jewellery at very special prices. Shepherd's Jewellers.
It's you, very you.
Diamond specialists for over 100 years.
It's no good giving the performance of a lifetime one night, then ruining it all the next. It's all about performance, which is why I'm with MLC. Their investment approach really works. They've given competitive returns year after year. You either have it or you don't. For my money, MLC's a hard act to follow. So, if money matters, talk to MLC.
Hey, you know, you guys, you seem a little down tonight. Tell you what, let's all get together and recite the oath of acceptance.
I am fast. I am abnormally fast. But I will not hide my speed.
I will flaunt it. I will get naked and roll around in it. Hey, Kenny, you've got to be part of the group, because if you're not, then we can't. Good. That's why we're here.
Sunday, the greatest threat man has ever faced is making its way towards Earth.
The doomsday virus.
Everyone on board could be exposed.
If they don't land, they die.
That 747 is not to land here.
If they do land,
no one leave the aircraft.
We all die.
Stop it.
For the first time on Australian television,
we are going down.
The countdown has begun. Pandora's Clock, 8:30 Sunday on Channel 7.
116 points the difference. Adelaide's biggest winning margin was 139 points over Richmond back in 1993. So they're a bit off that yet. You wouldn't bet against them doing it though. So the ball up. Second biggest winning margin was 110 points, so they've surpassed that already. Plenty of records tonight. Sampson, hand pass to Bickley, taken down. Goodwin looks for James. Daffy gets it instead. Then he throws it out. Rogers on the end of it. McLeod up one-handed. So too was Bullis. Still McLeod. Measure it off. After Bickley. The Costa. Costa right on the centre circle. Another of the Crows' goal kickers tonight. 42 is Chad Rintoul, just onto the ground in the last quarter. Jarman. Can he make it 8? Oh, he nearly did.
No, I think that tap on by Rashudo was paid as a throw.
Yep.
Certainly looked that way from this distance.
So Harrison kicks to the outer side. Charles, good grab in front. Outgunned and outnumbered tonight. Benny Guile. Completed knock on by Hart. Naish ridden into the ground. The umpire says no.
Well, admit.
And on just wide of the centre square, we're going to have a ball up. Neil Curley.
Yeah, it's actually, Lee was right. The way the Crows forwards are pouring into that forward line, there's not a lot of room for Crow Tony Modra to lead to, and he just has to wait his turn.
Every player around this bounce, apart from about 6. Pittman's kick. Costa on the end of it. He'll be looking for Modra. Touches it on the ground. Rashudo. A little give. Back it comes to Bond. Long shot at goal, and he has picked it. Another goal kicker. 11 have now got themselves on the scoreboard as goal kickers.
It's a bit like queuing up. I mentioned I flew over on the plane with David Parker and Cole Canoe from Carlton. They play the Crows here next Saturday night, or next week at least. I'm not sure which day it is. You've had a bad day when your side's lost. You come over and see next week's opposition absolutely destroying Richmond tonight.
Amazing scoreline. An amazing game. Pittman be thrilled with his efforts tonight. Daffy tried hard, just tumbles the ball out wide. McLeod, no doubt he's made a big difference to the Crows' defence with his brilliance across half back. Roderick just threw the ball out. Ricochets back into his arms, but taken away by James, who kicks the ball deep into the forward line, needing a bounce. Modra will get it. Fumbles. Another rare mistake. Callaway, desperate at ground level. Bodro tries once more to flick the ball out. Tape on hands and knees to Harrison. Over to Thompson. So the Tigers get out of trouble. Rogers can set it up to Campbell. He's on the half-back line. So a casual bounce. Wants to take him on. Cheeky passage of play. Finds Daffy. Long way out from goals, but he can set it up to Naish, who's loose inside 50. So Naish took the goal in the third term, as we see Robert Walls on screen. And Pittman coming off. Getting a rousing reception here at Football Park. He's played a magnificent game.
Shows you, he's tied the last quarter, but gee, in the first half, his centre-back Ruckle was as dominant as I've seen.
Chris Naish from directly in front has kicked a goal for the Tigers.
Chris Naish has gone in second. Only two Richmond players with more than one, Mark Miranda and him.
And again, it's a game of keepings off now. The players really broken up. Players are going out kick chasing a little bit. I mean, that's just the natural want of the game when the game's been well decided. All we're talking about is the margin. Here's one occasion on the turnover in the Crows forward line. Richmond were able to bring the ball out all the way, maintain possession, get a shot at goal.
We're just past the halfway mark of the last quarter. The Crows aiming for their biggest win against Richmond. Wren just back on the ground replacing Pittman, who's got off to have a rest. Now there is a whistle. It's going to be a Crows free kick. And Wren gets himself up from the turf. Sean Wren to take the kick. Former best and fairest winner back in 1994. Coming back to some of his best form after the knee reconstruction. Burke in front, edged out by Robin, who's had a great game. Tried to get it to Collins. Opportunity for Rintoul. Thompson beats him to it. He'll go for the boundary line and succeeds in doing that successfully. So the throw in between right half forward and forward pocket. Half forward flank, where they will throw it in. Robin and Gale. Robin works his way to the front. Gale gets back in there. James picks it up well, sets it up for the skipper. One-on-one contest in front. Caven from Campbell. Still Caven. A little give. Goodwin snaps it, goal and kicks it. So Simon Goodwin, I think you said they were queuing up, Lee. Well, he's another one.
Absolutely. And Peter Caven, he's spent as much time in the forward 50 he has in defence for the Crows. He got forward again. And again, Peter Caven didn't mark the ball, but got the ground level ball over to Goodwin. And he finished, yeah, the terrific running defensive work by this Crow defence. They haven't had smart tonight, but gee, the way Caven's come out, the way Jamison's got down the field, the way McLeod's got down the field, terrific attacking work out of defence.
And a happy Simon Goodwin, his first goal in AFL football. He's playing his 5th game tonight. James just threw it out to Risciuto, who tumbles the ball forward. Robert, all tied up, they pile on top of one another, and we've got a ball up. Well, can they kick 30 goals, Lee? Still got 8.5 minutes left.
They'll need another 17 points for their biggest ever win, or 18. 17 would equal them against Richmond.
So a ball up inside 50. James goes bang and kicks a goal. Goals.
And another one joining the party. Brett James, 13th goal kicker for the Crows. What's happened to these other blokes who haven't had a shot at goal? David Pittman, terrible game, hasn't had a shot at goal. It's just a picnic for the Crows. And talk about kicking 30 goals, I think it's a fair bet the way the game's going. They're just opening up now.
Still 8 minutes to go, and the Crows looking for their biggest ever win against Richmond. You'd say from here that they would get it. Still plenty of run in their legs. Caven off a step, kicks up towards midfield. Ryan thought about paddling it forward, now kicks towards centre half forward. Wren nearly couldn't complete the mark. Gale at the back. Caven nails him up. Back to Caven. Umpire says Adelaide free kick. James. Towards the square. Goodwin to McLeod. Charles can't catch him. It's a well-weighted kick to half forward. Guess who's got it? The man of the match, Darren Jarman. 7 goals.
What do you reckon? He tries and sells a dummy. Nah, just got to the front.
Couldn't kick it from there, you'd reckon. Off hands and through for one behind. And if my notations are correct, that's the first rush behind that Adelaide's got. 28-9 to 7-6. 7 minutes remaining in the match. I won't call it a contest because it ceased to be that from probably halfway through the second quarter. Jason Tawney has tried hard. Bombs it long. Robran punched it down. James had it, lost it. Robran again. Hart of about a half a step, kicks the half forward. Almost a bit from Mark Thompson. Pin. Broderick over the top. Tawney. Collins. Jarman out of bounds with the footy. The umpire will throw it in. 55 metres from the Adelaide goal. Under 7 minutes left.
Well, superb tackling by the Crows. 31-20 tonight. Back of the pack, Harrison. His kick has been marked by Sampson. He's picking up a few possessions. He'll be enjoying the run tonight. Ryan goes to ground, then recovers well. I think he's got a lot of ability, Ryan. He's quick. This might be a player of the future for Richmond. Rogers on the half-back line. Kicks the ball long. So it's one for the high flyers. Trent Orman-Allen over the top, thumps it away. What an improved player he is. Well, you can see there the highest scores, 28-10, 178 versus 84. That was round 1 back in 1993 at the MCG. And as we see, Broderick takes a bit of a rest on the interchange bench with Prescott coming onto the ground. Naish has booted a couple of goals. Might be just finding a bit of confidence. It's been a lean year. Gets the ball back out to Rogers. Kicks under pressure. So backing back is Wren. Takes the easiest of marks. Goes short to Sampson. He's already had 6 possessions and 4 marks. To McLeod. 177 plays 48. McLeod from half-back. Looking for Robran. Gale thought he could have claimed the mark. See the ball come out towards Ryan, who will just paddle it along and finally over the line. Robran also has come back to his very best form tonight. 9 kicks, 9 handballs, 8 marks, 4 goals. It's been a superb performance at centre-half forward. Pippen's off the ground. He was an outstanding player in the first half. Comes to Daffy, overruns the ball. They've always had the numbers, the Crows. Campbell this time on centre wing. Tries to set it up, kicks to space. So the race is on. Getting there first is Bullis. Caught once more. The tackling, the pressure from the Crows. Comes out, bad bounce for Rintoul. Taken by Daffy to Knights. Been very quiet after the first quarter. Doesn't now look 100% fit. Been taken over by Jamison.
5 minutes to go and they need that extra point to level that score back in 1993 at the MCG. Give them pretty short odds of making it. Wren coming back to some form. Bickley, Costa. Robran underneath it. Tate gets back quickly. Robran's just about got him. Thompson, hand pass too severe. Oh, Collins gets cannoned into. Right, Thompson. Over the head of Tate. Oh, he let one go there on Collins. Not too much weight behind it, but he did let one go. Collins has got the free kick. So a little bit of byplay there. Kick in the meantime. Comes up towards the forward pocket. It's Tiger marking Harrison. Back to centre wing. Collins didn't have the height to go with Charles. Charles. Only his 7th kick for the night. Last few minutes of the game here at Football Park. A memorable one for Adelaide fans and for their side. A holding the man decision. Rose free kick to Hart. Again serviceable. Notable earlier in the night by becoming a goal kicker, one of 13 that the Crows have had. All Richmond, but none to take the mark. Campbell crumbs it well. Kicks across his body back towards centre wing. And Rintoul knocking up some stats as well in the final quarter. A good mark, well-weighted kick to Rodman. I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. Back to his best form. He's going to go back and bomb it. That's what the crowd wants. Tries the top. Look at it go! And hit the post. What a killjoy.
Yeah, well, the crowd loved that. And when you go back and let go of the big torp, he got it pretty well. It was curling back with its natural sort of torpedoing action, but not just quite enough to avoid the goalpost.
13 individual goal kickers must just about be a record lead.
Well, you can't ask for much more of a sharing of the goals than that.
You wouldn't want to come off not having kicked one, would you?
Campbell goes straight down the centre. A big fist away at ground level. Been taken by Chaffee. Spent little time on the field, so he kicks the ball long. Miranda has kicked a couple of goals. Battles the ball long in front. Orman Allen applies the pressure. Forces the ball over the line. So they'll toss it back in. 10 possessions, 5 marks and 2 goals to Mark Miranda.
Crows need another 9 points for their biggest margin against Richmond.
Charles and Wren. Sharked by Jamison. He sets it up straight away. Kicks the ball wide. Caven. He's got the loose player. Finds Rintoul, centre wing. The Crows. Danger again for the Tigers. Runs to 50. Long bomb. Into the square. There'll be a bit of pushing and shoving down there with Risciuto. Another minor score.
Okay, here are the culprits. Pittman, Orman Allen, Bickley, Jamison and Caven. They're the ones who haven't kicked a goal. And I think Mark Bickley has maybe been as good as any player on the ground. His role of doing well himself and cutting out Paul Broderick is maybe just as good as any Crows player.
And you'll be giving the votes, Barney, so that's another hand pass.
Well, those who haven't kicked a goal, Lee, they won't lapse tomorrow morning.
Tawney, straight up the ground, Wren in good position. Ball punched to the front of the pack. Rogers, a little gift to Daffy. Daffy at midfield. Oh, that's a great mark to Goodwin. In front of Knights. He is one of the goal kickers in this quarter. Jarman, well, he's got 7. And you'd have to say best on the ground. I'm not trying to convince you at all, but it's going to be hard. Costa, Ryan, Rintoul, he's looked good. Tate and Rodman. Ryan won't be overly disappointed to see it over the line. 131 points is the margin. They're aiming for 139. That was the biggest margin against Richmond. Probably now won't get it. James. Maybe, no, Risciuto. Callaway. Harrison. Campbell. Campbell in the back pocket. Not a long kick, but plenty of height. And out of bounds once more. So just over a minute remaining in this match. Crows got a standing ovation at half-time as Brett James picks himself up. They'll get an even bigger one when the siren goes, as I said, in just over a minute. 131 points the margin.
They're led by 49 points at quarter time, 84 points at half time, and 109 points at three-quarter time. So James kicks the ball deep into the forward line. Callaway has battled pretty hard on Tony Modra. Heads towards the boundary line. Bond, all the time in the world, from outside 50, just pops it up, looking for Risciuto. Good punch weight, that time by Harrison. Taken by Sampson. And he kicks a magnificent goal! Well, they've still got 41 seconds to kick goal number 30.
Yes, they're just queuing up, aren't they? They're just queuing up the Crows players. Sampson, 3 interchange players weren't used until three-quarter time. It was a question of a bit like volunteering who'll come off so the other 3 could have a run. Sampson got his chance. Certainly very good goal.
Well, he doesn't have to do laps tomorrow morning. He's safe.
137 points is the margin. They need another goal for their biggest ever win against Richmond. And it probably would be one of their biggest ever wins since they've been in the competition. I don't have those figures in front of me. The biggest winning margin, 139 points, as I said, at Football Park. Daffy, good tackle, ball jarred free. Now Campbell a chance. Tigers defending desperately. Punch to the front of the pack. James takes it. He gets collared. McLeod held without it. Tigers try to work it forward. Hard in the road. Or Bullis collect him. Back it comes towards midfield. Dale takes the mark. A huge win to the Adelaide Crows. As the fans are ecstatic. They led all night. 137 points. They cruised home by 49 points at the first change, 84 at half-time, 109 at three-quarter time, 137 at the final siren. And Tony Mondra going to take a mark of the year as well.
Yeah, it's an absolutely comprehensive victory. You can say nothing more than that. They just kept going. 8 goals in the first quarter, set it up. Another 8 in the second quarter, and they were away. It was only a question of what the end margin would be. And they just kept going. To kick 29 goals, a job, fantastic win.
Let's go down to Curls.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, Mark, that was a pretty special effort tonight.
Oh, it was. It was a win. I suppose didn't expect to do so easily, but just the way we hit in from the start, and I think won every quarter, and that's a pretty good effort, I think.
That's the thing we noticed from the sideline. The way your players hit at the ball hard, and your tackling was just so good.
Oh, it was. We tried to really set a precedent this week. We were pretty disappointed with last week's effort against Brisbane, and we were going to go for it from the start. And just the way things turned out, we got to run on early. Darren Jarman just had a night out, and things just built on that from there.
Bill Pittman gave you a great start at the centre bounces.
Yeah, the centre square was good. I think we would have won pretty easily out of there. And like you said, Pitto was good. Rennie found a bit of form, I think. And 2 quality big men in the one team is a great asset to have, I think.
And good to see Matty Robin back in a bit of form.
Yeah, he's so important to us. When Matty gets his hands to the ball and holds it in the area, it brings the guys like Bond and Vardy and the smaller brigade into it. And when they kick 4 or 5 goals and Mods kicks 4 or 5 and Jarman's on and Rashudo's around the place, it is a pretty imposing forward line.
Well played, all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, girls. It was the 3rd biggest win ever in round 17 behind Fitzroy's 190-point thrashing of Melbourne. That was in 1979, round 17, and Sydney's 163-point thrashing of Essendon in round 17 of 1987. They're the only 2 biggest winning margins in round 17, apart from tonight, which was 137 points. The Adelaide Crows over Richmond. Comprehensively, their percentage will receive a huge boost, already the biggest in the competition before this round started. And are we looking at the Premier team for 1997? As you said earlier, Barney, if they played the grand final here, they'd probably start short price favourite.
Well, we've seen the Crows slaughter sides over here on many occasions. Maybe not as much as this, but certainly, everything went well for tonight. Richmond were pretty poor, but the Crows just made them look that way.
You can't play better than what they played tonight. It was virtually a flawless performance. And Mark Rashudo leading the team off, playing his 100th game. There's Malcolm Blight, a big smile on his face.
Well, you don't often get a smile from the coaches.
Well,
I don't think Blighty would have had too many worries tonight.
No, it's a tough game. Malcolm Blight absolutely ecstatic. Of course, Robert Walls will be unbelievably disappointed with the performance of the Richmond side tonight. So it'll be a bit of doom and gloom in the Tigers' room and elation in the Crows' room. Yeah. But tonight they were just a magnificent combination. It's the best performance I've seen this year.
Well, absolutely. For every contest there's a loser, so when you are the winner you might as well enjoy it. And certainly the Crows have came out of this game of no injuries, everybody played well, so a terrific base to go into the last 5 matches of the year.
And I think, Lee, they play every other game at Football Park, except the last game of the year.
They've got the next four all are at Football Park. One of those is against Port Adelaide, where there's no home state advantage, and I think the last game's against Collingwood, is it?
Essendon.
Essendon at Optus Oval.
Well, the way Essendon are playing, I mean, and their away form this year has been the best as they've been in the competition. You probably expect them to win that one as well, even at this
I don't think they've got great fears about travelling. Now, you've always got a big advantage of your home state, no doubt about that, but I don't think they've got an enormous fear that they can't win away from home.
Records galore here at Football Park tonight, and the final winning margin, Adelaide over Richmond, 137 points at annihilation.
The 1997 AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Foster's Light Ice for extreme refreshments. Telstra, making life easier. Qantas, the spirit of Australia. And McDonald's, the official restaurant of the AFL.
Well, he was absolutely brilliant in front of goals. I'm not speaking about Neil Curley, who did have an illustrious career, but tonight it was Darren Jarman's night, Curls, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly was, Peter. Well, Darren, you've played a lot of AFL footy now, and you've played with some very, very good Hawthorn sides that have won some premierships. How do you? I know it's a hard question, but how do you rate the Crows' performance they compare to some of their performances?
The Hawthorn sides were terrific sides, and very similar with the backline running. Hawthorn. In the 90s were a good running side, and Malcolm's got us playing a running style from the back line, which sets up a lot of opportunities. And we've just got to keep playing consistent footy, and finals are just around the corner.
With the forwards, with your backs going forward like they were tonight, though, but it does cramp that forward area a bit for Modera's movement.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep them out. But you can't stop them from running down and creating, and they've done it all year, and as you said, they do crowd it up a bit, but if they're running, they're doing their job.
You and Rashudo changing out of the forward pocket, it does give you a chance to sort of not relax, but just freshen up a bit, doesn't it, back there, down there?
Yeah, we've worked pretty hard the last month, and Malcolm sort of said to us to, ruck row play in the pocket just to freshen us up a bit, and it was good tonight to get a few goals.
Watching David Pittman tonight, he was obviously, he got a pretty big rev the last time against Richmond. I thought tonight he was superb at the centre.
Yeah, since that game, he just hasn't looked back. He's copped it on the chin, and full character to Pitto. He's just gave us everything since that day.
Pretty young side. You're the oldest in the side. This side's going to be around now for quite a few years to come. If they can just develop just in a couple of other little areas that they may be a little suspect in, they're going to be a powerful side for years to come.
Yeah, we are one of the youngest side in the comp, and a bright future for the club.
Thanks, Darren, for your time. All the best.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Football Park. I suppose when we check the ladder, Lee, the most interesting aspect of it is the huge jump in percentage of the Crows, 117 to 126.
Yeah, 9% in one game. That's a nice... they're well ahead of all the other teams around that final eight, Adelaide, so if they can get level on points with anyone, they're going to go ahead of them on the ladder.
And let's check tomorrow's games now. Some interesting ones because West Coast plays Geelong at Subiaco. West Coast side a little bit stronger this week, but a couple of those players may be lacking in some match practice. Collingwood and Melbourne at the G, and then St Kilda and Brisbane. That's probably the game that has most interest.
Well, both St Kilda and Brisbane, or the winner of that game, will sort of go into the top four. So all of a sudden, I think the Bulldogs will drop to 6. So, yes, it's changing around every week within the final 8.
The Bulldogs losing their last 3 now. Next Friday night, as we check round 18, North Melbourne and Essendon at the MCG. Melbourne plays Sydney. Richmond and the Western Bulldogs, Geelong and Port Adelaide, Brisbane and Hawthorn, Adelaide and Carlton, And the derby, or derby as they say over in Perth, Fremantle and West Coast, looks interesting now.
Fremantle's best chance to beat the Eagles in recent times.
It probably would be. And speaking of beating, what a beating Richmond took tonight, an annihilation. Good evening to you all from Football Park.
Well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about, yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I love.